Live from the AM1310 WDPN studio, it's time for live and local sports talk. It's the Sam Bourquin Show.
I'm ready.
Give the show a call at 330-821-1310.
Good call, meatball.
Watch the Sam Bourquin Show on the AM1310 Facebook page, the Q92 YouTube page, and on X. This is the Sam Bourquin Show on AM1310 WDPN.
Big man, 6'4", 235. He sends this one high in the air to deep right. Really back, track, wall, leaps, it is gone. Chase DeLauter with a solo home run in his first at-bat. Now the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, drilled, deep left field, back is a Rosarena, over his head, short hops the wall, Rocchio scores, DeLauter coming home, here's the throw to the plate, slides in safely. To right in the first, he drives this one, deep right center, forget about it, Chase DeLauter, what a regular season debut.
6, down to 6, down to 5, Smith, shaking, Bacon, Smith puts it up, no, the foul, it's good, with 0.7 left. And Sharp, and McCarty for 3. With the rebound by Wagler, and that'll do it. And Illinois is going to go to the Elite Eight for the second time in a couple of years.
Well, another wild night in college basketball last night. The Sweet 16 got underway. And how about the Big Ten just bulldozing their way through the tournament? They were in a no-lose situation last night with one of the games. Somebody from the Big Ten was going to move on. And it was Purdue and Illinois and Iowa. Nebraska comes up short last night, but holy cow, what a night. What a night for the Cleveland Guardians, too. I know a lot of you were probably, what's the old saying, sawing logs at the time that the Guardians were playing the Mariners last night with that late-night West Coast first pitch. But for those that stayed awake, my God, I did. I didn't think I was going to be able to, but I did. Guardians winning last night 6-4. Chase DeLauter, a couple of home runs. You heard Hammy's call here in the open. Courtesy of the Cleveland Guardians radio network. Jose Ramirez had a big 2-run double. Brian Roque had a big hit last night. And the pitching kind of made it through. Now, there's a little intrepidation today because of Tanner Bybee, a little inflammation in the shoulder. They took an x-ray, I guess, after he was done pitching last night, and it came back okay. But I think they're going to revisit that and take a little extra time before Tanner maybe goes out and makes his next start. So good night for the Guards. Great atmosphere in Seattle last night. The crowd was outstanding. Opening night, of course, is always a big deal. And Guards played well. Chase DeLauter's parents were there. Some other family members were there. And that was really cool. That was really cool to see last night. Oh, and by the way, the young man can rake. He hit a couple of bombs last night in that ball game. I mean, you've heard the term no doubters. He hit a couple of no doubters last night. It was really, really impressive. So the Guards start the season off 1-0, and they'll get back at it tonight again at I believe it's 10:10. Let me pull the schedule up here real quick. Now, let's do a quick question for all of you out there. Indians and the Mariners game tonight. Where can you watch it? Anyone? If you want to watch the Guardians and the Mariners on TV tonight, where do you have to go? Cleveland Guardians TV? Nope. MLB TV? No. Netflix? No. Apple TV would be the correct answer, ladies and gentlemen. That's where the game will be played tonight on Apple TV. The Guardians and the Mariners coming up at 10:10. My God, the internet's terrible in here today. Holy smokes, the Wi-Fi. Come on. Apple TV tonight, 10:10. Who's on the bump? Who we got? Gavin Williams on the mound for Cleveland. George Kirby on the mound tonight for Seattle. And then same two teams on Saturday and Sunday. So we'll get 4 in Seattle, and then it'll be time to go to Dodger Town. That's right, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the Guardians and the Dodgers before Cleveland finally comes back home. And the home opener coming up a week from today. A week from today is the official home opener. 4:10 first pitch as they will take on the visiting Chicago Cubs. Hopefully the weather will be good. Hopefully the weather will be good for opening day. Speaking of weather in baseball, I want to pass this along to you. The University of Mount Union and Otterbein were supposed to play a doubleheader tomorrow. That has been pushed back to Sunday. So the doubleheader will begin at 1 o'clock on Sunday at Mount Union as they take on Otterbein in a doubleheader. So I just wanted to pass that along to you. That was great news I got today from Nate because I was looking at the forecast the last couple of days, and I saw Saturday was going to be like 39, maybe a high of 40. It was going to be mostly cloudy, and it's still a little bit raw out there today because we had a lot of weather activity last night. I know a lot of you got a ton of rain. We got a lot of wind. We got some hail last night. There was a couple of occasions where the possible funnel clouds were forming. None touched down in our area. I know some other counties away, they had some activity. There were some power outages last night, but for the most part, we kind of came through that. But Mount Union and Otterbein, doubleheader, college baseball postponed, or I guess, postponed tomorrow. They'll play the doubleheader on Sunday, beginning at 1 p.m. And I'm excited for that. I'll be doing the play-by-play for the Mount baseball games this year at home, and you can catch those on Flow Sports on TV if you like to do that. So can't wait to talk to Coach Hesse on Sunday afternoon and Coach Douglas and see how the boys are doing. They're having a really nice year so far. Hopefully we can keep that going. All right, the phone lines are open 330-821-1310, 330-821-1310. Text line open 330-924-7088. And of course, you can chat with us today. I see some are already in, ready to roll on the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. We got the chat open, and we invite you to come on in there for that as well. We will be with you till 6 o'clock tonight. So let's hang out here on this Friday afternoon and have a little fun. Coming up on the show today, we'll take a little peek back at the Guards and Mariners from last night. What's today usually? What is it? Overreaction? Day after? Or, we're not going to overreact to anything, but we will talk a little bit about the game last night and Chase DeLauter. My God, what a beautiful swing that young man has. I know. Here I go. I'm already overdoing it, right, for the first game. But get 2 home runs in your first, on the road, opening day, that's pretty cool. And to have parents in the stands and friends and family, really cool. I don't know Chase DeLauter personally, obviously, but just listening to a couple of interviews he had after the game last night, he sounds like a top-notch guy. Matter of fact, we're going to play his interview he had with MLB Guards TV, Andre Knott, after the game last night. We'll also hear a little bit from the skipper, Stephen Vogt, on what happened last night with the Guards and the Mariners. We'll take a look back at some of the opening day highlights for some of the teams in MLB. College hoops last night. Purdue, moving on. Iowa, moving on. Illinois, moving on. Arizona, moving on. 2 really good games early. The late games were kind of blah. And I'm still trying to figure out, man, I was talking to you all yesterday, really wanted to see Kelvin Sampson. Like, I would love to see him get a national title. And son of a gun, they just can't. They just can't. They played terribly last night, Houston. It was a home game for them, a home game. They played in Houston last night. And Illinois just came out swinging. And Houston couldn't score. They have 22 points at halftime or some crazy thing. They must have known I bet on the over last night. But it was bad. And I just want Kelvin Sampson to get a title. I just want him to get a title. And it's not going to happen again this year. So today, we got Duke and St. John's. Man, just in name power alone, just in branding alone for college basketball, this is a great matchup. Really is. St. John's plus 6.5 tonight, over under 142.5. The Red Storm. They'll always be the Redmen to me. We'll take on the Duke Blue Devils tonight. This slick Rick Pitino, does he got a little something up his sleeve for Coach Shire and the Dukies tonight? I think that's going to be a good game. Michigan, Alabama, scoreboard operator, be ready to go. A lot of points in that one tonight. What's the line there? Michigan minus 8.5. The total 173.5. They're expecting a lot of points in that one, and I think there will be. Also, Alabama's Aiden Holloway, he will not be there tonight. One of their better players. He got arrested the Monday before the tournament started. Remember that? And police allegedly found over 2 pounds of weed at his residence. And he's probably not going to play anymore this year. I don't think. But he averaged 17 points a game. But they will not have him tonight. Number 2 seed UConn. Number 3 seed Michigan State. How about this matchup? Izzo and Hurley. I normally don't pull for Michigan State. I'm not a big Michigan State fan. I do like Tom Izzo. I do not like Coach Hurley, so I'm going to root for Sparty tonight. And I think I got Sparty on my bracket, so we'll go that way. And then the number 2, Iowa State, will take on number 6, Tennessee. What's the number there? Tennessee is getting 3.5 tonight from Iowa State. Total 139.5. By the way, UConn, Michigan State. It's Michigan State plus 2.5 against the Huskies. A lot of you have been complaining online on social media, and I understand it, and I'm with you. How about these games in the NCAA tournament during the week, tipping off at like 10:15, 10:20 at night during the week? There's really no reason for this. And they started the games out in San Jose last night. They started them earlier. What kind of sense does that make? Starting a game at 7:30 East Coast, but it's in San Jose, so they're playing at 4:30. No wonder they couldn't sell the place out yesterday. It's ridiculous. Now, tonight it's a Friday night. It's a little bit different, but still, in a Midwest regional, Tennessee and Iowa State, you're starting the game at 10:15. It's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. But, well, you know how that goes. TV wagging the dog again. What else we got today? Oh, looking forward to this. And it's kind of a funny story, a little bit of a funny story. And I'll mention this to Coach Tucci when I have him on today. We're going to talk to long-time, legendary high school basketball coach Dennis Tucci today at 5:10. So make sure you have your calendar marked for that. 5:10, Coach Tucci is going to be on the show today. And he had 33 years in at Malvern. 43 years overall. Finally got the Hornets to the Final Four last weekend down in Dayton. And then he announced he was going to just step away, going to retire. Going to be a grandpa now. He's going to take life in and spend it with family. And, you know, Coach Tucci's always going to be synonymous with basketball. I'm sure he'll still be watching a lot of games. Hopefully his son will get the reins at Malvern and take over as head coach. But I told you when I think the announcement came, I think it was Sunday. Maybe it was Sunday night or Monday morning. I can't remember what day it was. And I said the plan was we'll get Coach Josh Hose on from Massillon and talk about them winning a state championship. Then I reached out to Coach Tucci to have him on to talk about his, legendary career and take a look at retirement and see what's coming up. And so we got Coach Josh Hose on. We had him on Tuesday, and I reached out to Coach Tucci on Monday. I didn't hear anything. And I reached out Tuesday, and I didn't hear anything. I'm like, what's going on here? So I went into my phone. I wasn't sure I had his cell number, but the more I thought about it, I said, you know what? I think I do, but I just couldn't figure that I put it under the coach column. Did I put it under D for Dennis? Did I put it under Coach Tucci? Did I put it Malvern? I couldn't figure out where I had it in my phone book, in my phone. So eventually I found it. So I sent another text out. And I didn't hear anything. I'm like, what the? So I went back, I looked at it. Okay, there it is. Coach D. Tucci, and there's the phone number. I put another text out. Nothing. All right, well, so yesterday rolls around. Nothing. I'm like, what am I going to do now? So here's what I did. I went to X or Twitter, and I follow the Malvern basketball program X page. And thankfully, they follow me back, so I'm able to send them a direct message. And I said, let me read you exactly what I wrote here. Good morning. Trying to contact Coach Tucci to see if he would be available to come on the show and talk about retirement and what have you. Having trouble finding a contact number. Would really appreciate the help. 5 seconds later, boom, there it is. So I'm thinking maybe I had Dave Tucci's name and number in my phone book and not Coach Dennis. I don't know, but we'll have some fun with that with him this afternoon. Anyhow, Coach is coming on at 5:10, and can't wait for that. Cavaliers will take on the Miami Heat tonight again. Got some good news there. Jarrett Allen looks like he is going to be back in the lineup tonight for the Cleveland Cavaliers. So we'll see what they look like tonight as the Cavs take on the Heat. Columbus Blue Jackets keep on rolling. I know we don't talk a lot of hockey on the show, but hey, I think it's time to sit up and take notice what the Blue Jackets are doing in the NHL. They just keep winning. That team's on fire. Remember they made a coaching change, about a month and a half ago? Yeah, they've just been on fire, and they're just kind of moving up the playoff chain. So we might just mention a little bit about the Blue Jackets and their schedule and stuff coming up here this weekend. We also have our fill-in-the-blank Friday to get to. We'll do all that, and we'll bring you so much more. We're going to take our first break, 1310 WDPN.
Of all the ways to get ahead in life, we're one of them, and we're legal. The John Tesh Radio Show.
I'm John Tesh, and we couldn't be happier about bringing you intelligence for your life every day. We have a room full of researchers gathering the information and ideas you need to make your life simpler and better, and to make you the smartest person in the room.
You're just trying to be better. We're just trying to help. The John Tesh Radio Show.
Join me for music and intelligence for your life, 10 to 3, Monday through Saturday, only on AM 1310 WDPN.
It's intelligence for your life.
AWP Safety, North America's leading traffic safety company, wishes the best of luck to Stark County student athletes this fall, and they need you. Join AWP as a protector for steady work and an important job keeping people safe. They offer paid training, certification, referral bonuses, and advancement opportunities. To apply, visit jobs.awpsafety.com. That's jobs.awpsafety.com.
$13.10 WDPN. Welcome back. We got just a couple of minutes before we get to the bottom of the hour. News and weather coming your way. 330-821-1310. Text the show at 330-924-7088. All right, time for the fill-in-the-blank Friday. And again, I had a tough time answering my own question today. Our fill-in-the-blank Friday question today is, if you could bring back one former Canton professional sports team, who would it be? If you could bring back one former Canton professional sports team, sports franchise, you could get them back up and running again here in the city, who would it be? Who would it be? And I started thinking about, okay, who it could be, what the possibilities could be. And, of course, right away I thought Canton Bulldogs, right? Of course, that was a long time ago, but it would still count. And then I thought about, okay, what about the Canton Invaders, indoor soccer team? Okay. And I thought, all right, Canton Charge, basketball. Okay. And I was like, wait a minute. What about the Canton Indians? The Canton Indians, minor league baseball team. Then I thought, what about the Canton Legends? Remember, we had an arena football team. We had a couple, actually. I don't really count the second one that came to town. I count the Canton Legends. They actually won a championship. I think it was the AIFA, American Indoor Football Association. And I was lucky to do PA for them for a couple of years, so I thought it was kind of cool. I thought, maybe the Canton Legends. I wouldn't mind to see them come back either. And I'm still sitting here thinking, if I got to pick one, I'm not sure who I would pick first. But some great comments are coming in. If you could have one former Canton professional sports team come back right now, who would it be? You can take the quiz on the X page on AM1310WDPN. It's in poll question format on X. Twitter, I just kind of threw the question out there and let you run with it. Some great comments coming in. Of course, a lot of you saying Canton Invaders, a lot saying the Canton Charge. The Canton Crocodiles got a vote. I forgot about them. But we'll have a little fun with that today. Maybe we can tell some old stories from back in the day when these teams were actually here, the venues they played in, some of the great players that played on those teams. I know a lot of you that are answering the question right now were season ticket holders for a lot of those teams, so we'll have a little fun with that today as well. All right, phone lines are open. Text line is open. The Q92 Radio YouTube channel chat is open as well. Right now, it's news and weather. We'll come back and dive in here on a fill-in-the-blank Friday, 1310 WDPN.
Now, the latest area news on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 3:30. 42 days after a partial government shutdown began, the fight over funding for the Department of Homeland Security might finally be winding down. ABC's Jim Ryan says the Senate voted before dawn today.
On a voice vote, the Senate agreed to fund the Transportation Security Administration, but not ICE or Customs and Border Protection. Back in the Senate, the finger-pointing continues. Senate Majority Leader John Thune.
It is now clear to everyone Democrats didn't actually want a solution.
Minority Leader Chuck Schumer.
This could have been accomplished weeks ago if Republicans hadn't stood in the way.
With Senate approval in hand, the House will now take up the measure to fund TSA and get airport security personnel paid again. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Sources tell ABC News that an American F-18 fighter jet narrowly avoided an Iranian missile while flying over southern Iran in recent days. U.S. Central Command said in a social media post Thursday that no U.S. fighter jet has been shot down by Iran. It comes as Operation Epic Fury nears its fifth week, with reports the Pentagon is considering sending an additional 10,000 ground troops to the Middle East. President Trump signaled he's in no rush to strike a deal, but extended the deadline for Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz by 10 days. If Iran doesn't comply, the president says he'll bomb their crucial power plants. The FBI now says a brother and sister have been charged in connection with an alleged explosive device found near the visitor center at MacDill Air Force Base in Florida last week. Officials say it was planted on March 10th and soon afterward, a 911 call was made about a bomb on the base, but it wasn't found until almost a week later. The suspects, Alan Zhang and Anne-Mary Zhang, allegedly fled to China after the bomb was planted, but Anne-Mary Zhang then returned to the United States and was arrested. Investigators are also taking a look at a video sent to the Tampa Bay Times shortly after the bomb was left at the base. ABC News Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas.
The person who sent that video in silhouette claimed that this was about anger concerning U.S. policies in Iran, the assault in Iran, and also concern about U.S. deportation policy. We do not know if this video is definitely authentic and tied to the events.
The House Ethics Committee has found Democratic Congresswoman Sheila Trefelis McCormick of Florida committed numerous violations of House rules and ethics standards. It's a ruling that could add weight to Republicans' push to expel her from Congress. The panel says it will recommend a punishment in the coming weeks. The allegations center around the Congresswoman's receipt of millions of dollars from her family's healthcare business after Florida made an overpayment of roughly $5 million in disaster relief funds. She has denied wrongdoing. It's 40 degrees in Alliance at 3:32. This is WDPN News. I'm Jeff Mears.
Now, the Alliance Area Weather Forecast from Mark Johnson on AM 1310 WDPN.
Well, our weather headline for today, welcome back to cold. Indeed, sunshine coming out for the afternoon. Our high today, only 45 degrees, a little gusty out there. Overnight, partly cloudy skies, chilling down, our low 25. From the 3 News Weather Center, I'm Mark Johnson.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life. Electric word, life, it means forever, and that's a mighty long time. But I'm here to tell you,
3:35. Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show. Happy Friday, everybody. 330-821-1310. You can text as well. You can get it on the Q92 Radio YouTube chat. A lot of you are already firing away there. Purple suit. Sam, the NCAA doesn't make sense? Never heard of such a thing. How big is the Big Ten? The biggest money in the country. Yeah, the Big Ten is starting to, I don't know, they may have more than starting to put the squeeze on our friends in the Southeast Conference. Big Ten is pretty much kicking everybody's ass right now in a lot of sports. You know what I mean? We no longer kowtow to the big bad SEC. We don't. Not in football, not in basketball. We don't kowtow to the ACC in hoops. And forget about the Big 12. Big 10's where it's at. I never thought I'd see this. Of course, in a lot of things I didn't think I would see. NIL, transfer portal, a lot of those things. Yeah, Big 10. Big 10 is flexing like they're at a bodybuilding show. And they're coming out on stage. They're all oiled up. They get their tanning cream on. And they got veins just popping out of their body. The Big Ten is putting a big flex on everybody. And the other conferences don't like it. They hate it. They can't stand it. It's driving them up the wall. There's just going to be more distance between them. Big Ten's got the money. Big Ten's got the donors. Big Ten's got the programs. They got the country crisscrossed from East Coast to West Coast. They got everything. Great coaches, great recruiters, schools that people want to transfer to, schools that have people with very, very, very deep pockets. I think it's all over for a while for the other conferences. Of course, there's hardly any conferences left. What are we down to now? The Power Four? Remember when we used to have like 15 different conferences? Well, those days are gone. But if I'm the Big 12 and the SEC and the ACC, I'm like, uh-oh. The Big 10 has spoken, and it's getting loud. It's getting loud in the building with the Big 10 conference. You can have an all Big 10 Final Four.
Purple Suit said exactly that just now.
I mean,
all Big 10 Final Four.
You really could. I don't know if I guess I'd be okay with that. I don't know. I'd like to spread it around a little bit. But, boy, if you really want to put your big boy pants on, have an all Big Ten Final Four. Then how do you think these other conferences and their fans and the talking heads would react? Boy, ESPN, they'd poop themselves if the Big Ten had every team in the NCAA Final Four. They would literally, they would. That might be worth the price of admission. 330-821-1310 is our telephone number. Text 330-924-7088. This is the Sam Bourquin Show. Sammy B here, Ryan Rainsberg on the other side of the glass. Jeff Mears in the WDPN newsroom today. Mark J. with the weather. We'll get you all caught up with what's going on in your world today and what you should look ahead for this coming weekend. Our fill-in-the-blank Friday question today. If you could have one former Canton professional sports franchise come back, which one would you pick? Which one would you pick? Would you pick the Canton Indians? Bring minor league baseball back to town? Would you pick the Canton Invaders? Indoor soccer at its best. Boy, they were good. They were the best. They were so good. Would it be the Canton Legends? Would you like to see arena football come back to town? They won a title. What about the Canton Charge? Kind of missed them a little bit too. Now they're up the road a little bit, but what about the Canton Bulldogs? Want to turn the clock back a little further. Which Canton sports franchise would you like to see come back? And you can only pick one. You can only give me one. Get those to me on the chat on the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. You can text at 330-924-7088. You can put it on the AM1310 WDPN X page, and you can drop those comments off on the Sam Bourquin Show Facebook page as well. But I got to thinking, which team would I pick to come back and start up again? And I'm having a heck of a tough time. You know why? Because if they all would come back, I would go to every game. I would go and support every franchise that came back. I would literally fly down to the Civic Center to go watch the Canton Charge play again. I would go down to the Civic Center to watch the Canton Invaders play indoor soccer. I guess I'd be spending a lot of time there because the Invaders, the Charge, and the Legends would all play there. Right? Charge, basketball, Invaders, indoor soccer, and the Canton Legends, arena football. So I'd be spending a lot of time at the Civic Center. Now, we had a little discussion about the Civic Center a couple of days ago. I still haven't heard from anybody what exactly they're trying to do down there as far as that renovation project, because it needs, we need a new Civic Center. Let's just cut right to the chase. We need a brand new building is what we need. But funditure-wise, I guess that can't happen. Or there's roadblocks in there somewhere. So they decided to go with a pretty big renovation plan at the Civic Center downtown. But I don't know what they have done. I haven't seen anything firsthand, and I don't know what's on the books to be done there. Anybody has any information on that, just send it to me here today, and we can work it in to the show. And yeah, I'd go down to Thurman Munson Stadium right now to go watch Canton Indians play minor league baseball. I would go and support in person every one of those teams if they came back. And whether it was to cover them for my job or just to go as a fan, I would go to all of them. And I would try to go multiple times. I'd go down with the family. I'd go down with some friends, some colleagues. Absolutely. Absolutely, I would support all those teams. So it's really even kind of hard for me to come up with just one team. I loved watching the Invaders indoor soccer. Loved it. I went to 20, 25 games a year. I even went to a couple of road games. I went to Milwaukee once to watch them play the Milwaukee Wave, I believe. And I went to, who do they always play? It seemed like they always, Louisville. They played the Louisville Thunder. I remember they played down at old Broadbent Arena. And I actually we drove down there once to I think it was a playoff game. The Invaders and the Louisville Thunder. Louisville Thunder had a guy by the name of Keith Tozer. Oh, my God, he couldn't stand him. I remember he would just get the crap boot out of him at the Civic Center. It was great. But I'd go down there. I'd go watch indoor soccer again at the drop of a hat. I'd go down to watch the Legends play, arena football. Loved it. I'd go down to watch the Canton Charge. Beats driving to Cleveland. And if the Canton Bulldogs ever would come back, I'd go watch them too. But I think that's, obviously that's not happening. But what do you think? Let's check out where people want to go here. Tina says the Invaders or the AA Indians. I got my son a Tommy bat at the Indian store when I was in Canton Center years ago. Jimmy J says, give me the Canton Invaders all day. Lori, Canton Invaders. She says he was a season ticket holder for years. Eric Harkins, can't decide. Give me the Indians and the Invaders. Jeff Harlow checking in, Canton Invaders. Dave Kisner. Dave, hope you're well, bud. He says, give me the Canton Indians. Travis says the Canton Crocodiles. Forgot about them. They played down at Munson, too. Carm DeJulio holding the fort down in the city. He says the Invaders. That was so much fun. Desmond says Canton Legends. Good indoor football is always fun to watch. Ray says nobody. Thanks, Ray. Chad says Canton Indians. Ron Reed, Canton Indians. Michael Lanzo says, give me the Canton Charge. Doug says Canton Indians. Craig, AA Indians. Ron says, I really enjoy the Canton Invaders games back in the day. Kia. That's right. Vicky Gale checking in today. Thanks, Vicky. She says, Canton Invaders. Let's go. John Appleby says, go Indians. AA. Thurman Munson. Mike L. says, Sam, this is a tough one. I enjoyed the Canton Legends and the Invaders. If I picked only one, it would have to be the Canton Invaders. Which former Canton sports franchise would you like to see come back? Get your comments to me on social media. You can call in 330-821-1310. Rainsburg, anything popping up on the chat?
Nothing answering the question, but we do have a couple comments.
Yeah, throw them out there. I see Dong Bobbler's in. I know the purple suit is in. There's a couple other ones.
We got Scooter checking in on YouTube earlier. He says 75 degrees to 39 has my arthritis in an uproar. I need some Tylenol.
Right.
Also, Apple TV SMDH, which we all know what that means.
That's right.
I saw today Congress is looking into all these streaming services with games not being on locally.
Good.
I can only hope that's true.
Give them something to do.
Yeah.
It's getting a little crazy. It's getting out of control. Like tonight, second game of the year, we're already hunting around to where we can watch the Guardians play baseball. Second game of the year, we're already like, where can I find them? Apple TV tonight, folks. If you want to watch the Guardians, Apple TV.
Hall of Fame City came in to answer the fill in the blank Friday. He says, Canton Indians still got mine. Mark Lewis autographed my ball. I remember when I got it, he was supposed to be the next big thing.
Oh my gosh, right.
Should have tried to get it from a guy named Manny Ramirez instead.
Mark Lewis. Oh, my gosh. I think he was a shortstop. He was supposed to be the second coming. But it just didn't work out. That was a hot name back then. But yeah, you could go down to Thurman Munson Stadium for a couple of bucks and watch Manny Ramirez and Jim Thome. I mean, the list goes on and on. I know I'm forgetting a bunch of guys. I remember some of the not so famous guys like Dave Twardowski, Ruglis Odor, who is still coaching in the big leagues. Manny, Thome. Who else was on some of those? Now I'm drawing a blank. I'm trying to remember all these guys, and I can't. Troy Neal, he was a left-handed swinger. But yeah, those were fun times to go down to the old tin can back in the day and watch minor league baseball on a summer night. That was so much fun. It really was. We got to have an all Canton Indians team show one day. I think we'll do that in the summertime. And then you talked about the Canton Invaders. I mean, gosh, Kia, Don Tobin, Timmy Tima, Steve Frick, Oscar Pisano. Do we have Chris Vaccaro? Who was our goaltender? It wasn't Chris Vaccaro, was it? Or was it P.J. Johns? Who was our goaltender? One of our goaltenders for the Invaders back in the day. Drawing a blank there.
Okay, I'm going to definitely butcher these names, but Tom Bobbler says, I remember seeing Bartolo Colon.
Yeah, Bartolo Colon, yeah.
Pitching against Nomar Garciaparra.
Yeah.
Okay, Garciaparra. I was going to get that right. That's good.
How about that matchup? Bartolo and Nomar going at it down at Munson Stadium. Saw some great players down there. And of course, all the teams, they came in. Like the AA, what were they? The Albany Colony Yankees, the Reading Phillies would come in, the London Tigers. Let's see, Reading I mentioned already. Albany. Forget some of the other teams that would come in, but you probably saw a lot of very talented players on the teams that were coming into Canton to play the Indians back then. Tons of great names there. Tons of great names with the Canton Invaders. Canton Legends. I'm trying to remember the name of the quarterback who led them to the Arena Football Championship. We had some local guys that played for the Canton Legends back then.
Scooter says Joey Bella, Jason Perry, and Charlie Nagy.
Yeah, that's right. Charles Nagy was there as well with the Canton Indians. And, of course, the Canton Charge. I mean, you got to watch those guys sometimes go up and play for the Cavs on a Tuesday night and come down to Canton on a Friday and play at the Civic Center. So that was cool. You could just watch those guys. They were on those contracts, those two-way contracts. You could just keep sending them up and down, up and down, up and down. It was cool to watch them in person one night and turn them on and watch them on TV the next. That was one of the neat things about, when the Charge played down here. But man, just some of the great names, some of the personalities of the teams of the past that played on some of the Canton professional. Oh no, what's this? Ooh. Rainsburg, see if you can look this up. I'm getting reports of Tiger Woods involved in a rollover crash in Florida.
All right, one second.
Ooh. Man, hate to see that. All right, well, that just put a chill in the studio. Tell you what we'll do. We're coming up on that time anyhow, about 6 minutes till the top of the hour. Let's take a break, see if we can get some information on the incident with Tiger Woods that we're starting to get wind of now. We'll get back into our fill-in-the-blank Friday, and we'll get you ready for a big Friday night and a big weekend of sports here on the Sam Bourquin Show. Stay with us, everybody. AM 1310 WDPN.
According to a VA study, each day, over 22 veterans take their own lives. Join Mission 22 to let our vets know that they have an army behind them that cares. This message courtesy of Quick Fix Mobile Welding, proudly serving our area with excellence. For all of your residential and commercial mobile custom fabrication and welding needs, call 330-529-9810. That's 330-529-9810. Quick Fix Mobile Welding, on the air, supporting our veterans.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-498-2098 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-498-2098 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-498-2098 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
This place has a pulse. You hear it in the canopy, feel it in the ground. Life, fully illuminated, engulfs you. From the birds singing in the treetops above to the tiniest insects in the soil below, you take a deep, cleansing breath, filling your lungs with the essence of the forest. Now, imagine it's all gone. Healthy, life-giving forests reduced to nothing. No singing birds, no lush canopy, and water and food in short supply around the world. Time is running out to protect our forests, and without our love, they can and will disappear. It's our choice. Love it or lose it. Help protect our forests. Visit World Wildlife Fund at wwf.org/love.
All right, welcome back. We got some breaking news reports, ABC News, CBS News, ESPN. Tiger Woods was just involved in a rollover crash in Jupiter Island, Florida this afternoon. This according to the Martin County Sheriff's Office. No details about the cause of the crash or Woods' condition were immediately released. Again, Tiger Woods involved in a rollover crash in Jupiter Island, Florida, according to the Martin County Sheriff's Office. And we believe that this just happened maybe less than a half an hour ago or so. Awaiting some details there so we can pass those along to you. But, man.
Yeah, it happened just after 2 p.m. Eastern.
Jeez Louise. Okay, well, our prayers with Tiger. I hope I don't know what happened. Outside that it was a rollover crash. I hope he is okay, and if anybody else was involved, certainly hope that they are okay too. We'll dig into this coming up here during the break at the top of the hour. I'm sure Jeff will have some stuff as well. 330-821-1310. 330-821-1310 is our telephone number. Text line is open too at 330-924-7088. Guardians and the Mariners are back in action tonight at Seattle. Game is on Apple TV. Ball game first pitch. I think they're going to go at 9:45 tonight. It looks like so between 9:45 and 10, the Guardians will be in action tonight. You got plenty of college basketball as the Sweet 16 continues. 7:10, Duke will take on St. John's. Michigan will play Alabama at 7:35. And then tonight at 9:45, UConn will play Michigan State. And at 10:10, you will have Iowa State and Tennessee. So 4 pretty good ball games coming up tonight as far as the March Madness is concerned. Last night we had a split. The early games were great. Like, they were heart palpitating down to the wire, great college basketball. But then the nightcaps last night were just not good. I mean, they were blowout city. Illinois crushing Houston, and Houston was never in that game. Never in it. And Arizona just wiped the floor with Arkansas last night. So hopefully we'll have at least 2 good games tonight. Maybe we'll get 3 or 4 good ones tonight as we enjoy the college hoops on this Friday night in late March. All right, latest news in the weather. Again, Tiger Woods has been involved in a rollover crash in Jupiter, Florida. Still waiting for some details to come out there. We'll have that. We'll have the official weather forecast and so much more coming up here during the news block. And we'll come back with more here on the Sam Bourquin Show. Don't forget, 5:10, we're going to check in with legendary high school basketball coach Dennis Tucci. He'll be joining the show today at 10 minutes after 5. That and more coming up. Stay with us, everybody.
Keeping Alliance entertained and informed for over a half a century. AM 1310 WDPN Alliance.
ABC News, I'm Mike Dubusky. The Department of Homeland Security says that TSA workers will start receiving paychecks again this coming Monday after President Trump signed a memorandum instructing the DHS Secretary and the Office of Management and Budget to find the funds to do so. It comes as the standoff in Congress over DHS funding continues, with House Republicans now rejecting a funding bill passed by the Senate overnight.
We know some hardline Republicans are upset that there wasn't funding for ICE, specifically that it didn't have a more comprehensive DHS package, and then also that it didn't include certain restrictions on voter ID.
ABC's Christiane Cordero. The House, meanwhile, is now teeing up a vote for a 60-day continuing resolution for all of DHS, but that would have to go back to the Senate, where it is unlikely to pass. And authorities in Florida now say Tiger Woods has been involved in a rollover car crash. The professional golfer was previously injured in a crash in 2021. This is ABC News.
At Macy's VIP sale, there isn't just one way to save. First, take 25% off our best brands, like Good American, Tommy Hilfiger, Calvin Klein, and so many more. Then, take 15% off must-have beauty and fragrance from Miu Miu, Yves Saint Laurent, and Prada. And Star Rewards members can earn Star Money even faster on everything else, only at Macy's VIP sale. Hurry, it all ends Sunday. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Ahoy, matey! Is that a new phone? Aye, Captain, that's my new Samsung Galaxy S25 FE. You must have paid a pretty doubloon for that. Nay, 'twas zero down from Cricket Wireless. So, you plundered it. Nay, again, 'tis a monthly payment plan with BreadPay. You're shivering me timbers. I shiver you not. Me first payment is next month. Aye, that's not a plunder. That's a steal.
Get a new Samsung Galaxy S25 FE for $0 down when you pay over time with BreadPay. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Subject to approval of credit application. BreadPay loans are made by Comenity Capital Bank and Bread Financial Company.
Now, the latest Alliance area news from Jeff Mears on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 4:02. Power is nearly restored across Northeast Ohio following Thursday night's severe storms. Utilities report just a handful of customers still without electricity in Stark County and most surrounding areas. Outages and scattered storm debris forced officials to close the Northwest School District today. Much of the region was under tornado watches or warnings, with a possible funnel cloud reported in Perry Township in Stark County, but no confirmed touchdown. The National Weather Service in Cleveland is asking residents to report any storm damage, including hail, flooding, or high winds. A lightning strike to an exterior antenna is believed to have triggered a house fire in Plain Township Thursday night around 9:10. Firefighters responded to the 1000 block of Marquardt Avenue Northwest. Flames were seen near the roof. Crews from Jackson Township, North Canton, and Greentown helped quickly put out the blaze. No injuries were reported. Damage is estimated at $70,000. A man is charged with felonious assault after attacking a juvenile correctional officer Tuesday. 19-year-old Brian Stone is accused of severely injuring the officer at the Indian River Juvenile Correctional Facility in Massillon. He was arrested on a warrant Thursday and arraigned today in Massillon Municipal Court. Stone is being held on $75,000 bond, with a preliminary hearing scheduled for April 6th. The incident was investigated by the Highway Patrol. Nimishillen Township trustees administered the oath of office for Fire Chief Don Jordan Thursday. WDPN's David Schur reports.
With family, friends, and fellow firefighters giving hearty applause, the nearly 40-year veteran was officially sworn in. Following a public hearing, trustees approved a new swimming pool regulations for placement on a lot and safety covering in lieu of a fence. The road department's quotes for a new John Deere cab tractor and mower were approved for a $100,000 purchase from Trueland Equipment of Van Wert. Bills totaling $9,062 were approved for employee insurance benefits and a workman's compensation policy.
Plain Township trustees have approved a 12-month moratorium on the construction of data centers. Trustees Scott Haas and John Sabo voted in favor Tuesday, while Brooke Harless was absent. Officials say the pause will give them time to study potential effects on health, safety, utility, and infrastructure, and to consider adding zoning rules. The move comes after a planned data center in nearby Perry Township drew concerns from residents over noise, pollution, and higher utility costs. 3 amusement rides at Hall of Fame Village in Canton, including a Ferris wheel-style ride, zip line, and drop ride, are now listed for sale. They're posted on ridesforyou.com. Village officials say the rides are not economically viable or a good fit for the football-themed development. Construction has resumed at the Game Day Bay Water Park, with opening expected in spring 2027, and a new hotel also planned on site. While airports across the country have dealt with record TSA lines, Akron Canton Airport is reporting little to no delays. TSA staffing shortages during the government shutdown caused some security waits to top 4 hours nationwide. The Senate has approved funding for TSA and most Homeland Security agencies. The measure heads to the House, but still does not include immigration funding at the center of the standoff. The new Philadelphia School District has a new superintendent. The Board of Education unanimously approved Dr. Carol Sutton during a special meeting Wednesday. She'll start August 1st with a salary of just over $151,000 and will also assist with the transition. Sutton succeeds Amy Wentworth, who is leaving to lead the Indian Valley School District. Sutton currently serves as Human Resources Director for the Stark County Educational Service Center and previously worked at Marlington Schools as an Assistant Superintendent and Curriculum Director. The victims in a Ravenna Township shooting have been identified. The Portage County Sheriff's Office says 78-year-old Connie Edens and 70-year-old Donald Edens were found dead Wednesday afternoon inside their Summit Road home. Deputies responded just after 3:15 for a welfare check, forced entry, and discovered the couple. They had both suffered fatal gunshot wounds. The investigation is ongoing. A Wellsville man has been sentenced to more than 12 years in prison for child sexual abuse material offenses. 44-year-old Merle Reynolds received 151 months Tuesday from federal judge Patricia Gagan after pleading guilty in December to receiving, distributing, and possessing images of minors in sexual conduct. He was also ordered to pay $13,000 in restitution. Authorities say Reynolds used the internet to share abusive images and chatted with undercover officers. A search of his devices turned up more than 500 images, and the government said he boasted about abusing a 10-year-old child. Former Breaking Point Recovery Center owner Ryan Sheridan faces sentencing Monday in Mahoning County Common Pleas Court after pleading guilty Thursday to attempted abduction and domestic violence. The charges stem from an October 23rd incident in Austintown, where police say he dragged a woman from her car into her home, but she escaped and called police. Prosecutors are recommending 2 years in prison. The 45-year-old Sheridan is on federal parole for a 2020 Medicare fraud conviction, and a parole violation is pending. Mahoning County Commissioners have approved a resolution to pursue litigation over delays in the Western Reserve Road widening project. Utility relocations have slowed the 3-year, $18 million project, which adds a third lane, center lane, and new right turn lanes. According to WKBN TV, County Engineer Pat Giannetti says crews had to move to other sections while waiting on utility work and hopes issues can be resolved quickly, but sometimes legal action is necessary. The project is still expected to be completed by fall. It's 40 degrees in Alliance at 4:07. This is the local edition of WDPN News. I'm Jeff Mears.
Here's Mark Johnson's forecast on AM 1310 WDPN.
We should see abundant amounts of sunshine through your Friday afternoon. Not going to warm you up much. Our high today only in the middle 40s. Overnight, a partly cloudy sky on the way. Look for a low near 25 degrees. From the 3 News Weather Center, I'm Mark Johnson.
Live from the AM 1310 WDPN studio, it's time for live and local sports talk. It's the Sam Bourquin Show.
I'm ready.
Give the show a call at 330-821-1310.
Good call, meatball.
Watch the Sam Bourquin Show on the AM 1310 Facebook page, the Q92 YouTube page, and on X. This is the Sam Bourquin Show on AM 1310 WDPN.
Big man, 6'4", 235. He sends this one high in the air to deep right. Really back, track, wall, leaps, it is gone. Chase DeLauter with a solo home run in his first at-bat. Now the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, drilled, deep left field, back is a Rosarena, over his head, short hops the wall, Rocchio scores, DeLauter coming home, here's the throw to the plate, slides in safely. Right in the first. He drives this one, deep right center, forget about it! Chase DeLauter, what a regular season debut!
Ticks down to 6, down to 5. Smith shaking, bacon. Smith puts it up. No, the foul. It's gone. With 0.7 left. And Sharp and McCarty for 3. With the rebound by Weigler, and that'll do it. And Illinois is going to go to the Elite Eight for the second time in a couple of years.
It is the Sam Bourquin Show. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back in. Hour 2, ready to get started here on 1310 WDPN. We'll be with you until 6 o'clock tonight. Sam Bourquin here, Ryan Rainsberg on the other side of the glass, and you are out there as well, listening on 1310 WDPN. You're watching and listening to the show on the WDPN Facebook page, the X or Twitter page. We see you out there in the Q92 land on the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. The chat is up and fired up and ready to go today. We appreciate you coming in and spending some time with us today. Another little bit of a chilly day. Sun's out, though, now, finally, after a slow start. Going to be a little chilly tonight. We're going to be about 40, 41 tomorrow, maybe near 60 coming up here on Sunday. So we give you the show here, right? We give you the weather. We give you the news. We're the newsroom today, myself and Rainsberg. So we're doing it all. We're doing it all. So hang out here with us for a couple of more hours. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we don't need anybody else. We'll take care of it.
We'll do it all.
We're too good.
Why not? Why not? If you missed it, Tiger Woods involved in a rollover crash in Jupiter, Florida. No update on his status yet. I just read another quick story on ESPN.com during the break, and it looks like the Sheriff's Department is going to have some details coming up at 5 o'clock this afternoon. So that's all we know. Apparently there was a photo taken of Woods' SUV. It was on its side on the driver's side. But that's kind of really all we know. It happened a little bit after 2 o'clock this afternoon down in Jupiter, Florida. I guess kind of close to Tiger's neighborhood. And he was involved in a rollover crash, again, a little bit after 2 o'clock. Not many details available at this time. But again, it looks like the sheriffs are going to speak upon it at 5 o'clock. So now we run national at the top of the hour, do we, or just bottom?
I think national is the bottom, and the top of the hour is local.
Okay, so
I might have that backwards.
All right, so we'll handle it. Rainsberg and I will keep you up to date with what's going on there.
I've got the old Google machine open over here. Keep the reload button hot and going.
Okay. Now this I'm seeing. This according to CBS 12 News. According to a source at the Martin County Fire Rescue, it was a 2-car crash. One vehicle was a rollover. One person is stable, while another refused to go to the hospital. Marion County Fire Rescue said there are no injuries to anyone. All right, now let me catch and see where I get this from. Okay, all right, that's a good source. All right. So that's kind of what we know now, but I'm sure other information will continue to come in as soon as we get some of that, and it's substantiated. We'll be sure to pass that along to you here on the show on 1310 WDPN. All right, hoops tonight. St. John's, Duke. Alabama, Michigan. Those are going to be good. Michigan State, UConn, good. They're all good tonight. These games are all good. They're all good. Iowa State, Tennessee also is going to be good. And then I got a couple games tomorrow and a couple Sunday. We'll be down to our Final Four. How many Big Ten teams are going to make it to the Final Four? Oh, you imagine? I don't have the brackets in front of me. I'm just going off the schedule that I have printed out and some of the information on the games. So I don't actually have the bracket. But I think there's a possibility that you could have an all Big Ten Final Four the way everything shakes out. That would be incredible.
From earlier on YouTube, Richard says, Big Ten is looking great. And those Wolverines winning that conference by 4 games, your bracket pick is looking real, real good.
Yeah, you know what, though? I lost Houston last night. So my Final Four is cooked. Now, I got Michigan winning. Excuse me. I got Michigan winning the whole thing, but I had them beating Houston. So I'm probably out of it there. But as far as my champion, yeah, I still have Michigan alive to win it. But my Final Four is here. Hold on. I will do the ceremonial Sam Bourquin Final Four. This is what I usually end up doing with it. Hold on here a second. My God almighty. This is what we usually do with it. Then we throw it away. So another year, another crumpling of the paper before the Final Four even gets here. But you'll have that. Speaking of prognostication, Sammy's best bet coming up today at 4:29 on this day in sports history at 5:29. And don't forget, Malvern Hornet Nation. And just pretty much, if you're a high school basketball fan in Ohio, Stark County, Northeast Ohio, Stark County, Carroll County, you don't want to miss this. We got one of the greats. Dennis Tucci is going to join us on the show at 5:10 this Friday to talk about his incredible coaching career, what he's looking forward to in retirement, and just kind of how everything just kind of happened. All right, Coach Tucci is going to be on the show here live with us 5:10 here on AM 1310 WDPN. So make sure you're ready for that. I've been looking forward to talking to Coach Tucci since he announced his retirement, and it's been about 4 or 5 days. I will say this to Coach when he comes on. I'm happy for him. I'm so happy for him that you get to retire. 43 years as a coach. You did it your way. You ran your program. You're the toast of the town. And I'm excited that he can just kind of say, hey, on to the next chapter. But I'm also a little sad because he won't be on the sidelines anymore. Like, it's almost, and some of you in this age demo will understand this. It's like when Johnny Carson was on late night on NBC. Sometimes you didn't always have an opportunity to watch him. But when you went to bed at night at 11:30 midnight, as long as you knew he was on, all was right with the world. That makes sense? As long as you knew he was there, even though you didn't watch it, but you knew he was there, it was all good. I kind of feel that way with Coach Tucci. You know, as long as, look, we and shame on me and shame on us at some of my other radio stops. We didn't broadcast enough of their games, and I will rue that to the day. It was tough. I wish I could have done more, but it just, because of the scheduling and the travel and they were in Carroll County. It was tough to pass up a big Federally game or a big McKinley game or a Massillon game or whatever. It was just tough that way. I wish we would have done more, but we didn't. And I'm sad that he just won't be on the sidelines anymore, even though, we were lucky to do a game of Malvern's every couple of years. But we didn't get to go. We didn't get to see it, but we knew he was there. We know Coach Tucci was on the sidelines, and that was good enough. But we talked to Coach Dennis Tucci coming up here at 5:10 today. It was great when they would come up in the tournament and play at the field house, right? Hop, skip, and a jump for a lot of us to just go over there and watch Malvern in the tournament, in the iconic field house. I only got down to Malvern a couple times. Only broadcast one game in their gym. One. And that was a couple years ago. And that was on a Friday night. I think there was a couple of big Federal League games that night. And Lee and I said, you know what? Screw it. We're going down to Malvern and we're going to do the Hornets. We're just going to go down. And it was fascinating. And I'll share this with Coach when he's on. It was fascinating. It was like stepping back in time in a cool way. I remember I walked in the gym and I was like, oh, so this is what this is all about. This is what Malvern basketball on a Friday night is all about. Okay. People in their seats 45 minutes to an hour before the game started. People breaking out into a rhythmic clap when they would come out just to do warm-ups. Student section full. Everybody in the gym had green on. Everybody had something to do with the Malvern Hornets, whether it was a hat, a hoodie, a polo, whatever it was. And it was just the experience of going back into, it was almost like, it's kind of like Hoosiers a little bit. And I'll never forget when I said, oh my gosh, this is real. Because I saw them at the field house. It's a little bit different. It's tournament game. They were usually the first or second games of a doubleheader. It wasn't like the home gym, the hometown experience. So when we went down there a couple of years ago, and I can't remember the team that they played, I'm going to reach out to Lee and ask him who they played that night. And I was like, so this is what it's all about. And we set up and we watched the JV game. We watched the people file in. And it was fantastic. It was fantastic. And then the game was over. Malvern won big that night. They were pretty loaded bunch that year. Really good. And the game was over. And we went over to this establishment in town. I think it was called the Firehouse. Not sure if that's the name of it. I'm sure someone will correct me there if I'm wrong. And just, it's one of those little neighborhood places, small town America, street parking, very little parking lot next to the building, just one of those kind of places. And we walked in and it was packed. And we ordered some food. We got a drink or two. And Coach Tucci came in, and it was like, whoa. It was like everybody in the establishment said, okay, now we can get on with it. Coach is here. It was like he was holding court. It was fantastic. Fantastic. And we were just talking to just random Malvern Knights. And we went over to Coach and we talked a little bit. And they said, oh, we're so glad you guys came down. And we were just like, no, thank you for letting us come down and do this game and having this experience. And, hey, who needs a drink over here? Hey, it was fantastic. It was so cool to go down there and just be a part of it. If it was just for one Friday night in the dead of winter, we made the trip down to, what is it, Brown Local, Malvern, Carroll County, and to experience what Malvern basketball was all about. And, of course, Coach Tucci, that resume kind of speaks for itself. 33 years there, 43 overall. Being over at Louisville, being at Marlington for a little bit, going back to Malvern, and put the flag in the dirt and let it go. It was phenomenal. It's kind of what it's all about. It was the old school throwback Hoosiers kind of a deal. It was kind of like going into Hinkle Fieldhouse, but on a much smaller level, much smaller gym, but it had that feel, that small town country feel. And I'll never forget that. The only time I was ever able to broadcast there, that was a couple years ago. I mean, we're walking back to the car, and I'm just like, my God, this man he's a god. He's a god down here. I mean, you had to be there. It was just fascinating. And I can't wait to talk to Coach about that coming up here at 5:10. 330-821-1310 is our number. Chat line open as well on the YouTube, 330-924-7088 on the text line. Our fill-in-the-blank Friday today, if you could bring back one Canton professional sports franchise, who would it be? Who would you like to see come back and play again the most? A lot of great answers out there today. Canton Bulldogs, Canton Legends, Canton Invaders, Canton Charge, Canton Indians. Get me your comments. Get me your answers. We'll go over those here during the break. We'll check and see if there's any more news on the Tiger Woods crash today. And we'll get into the Cavs and the Heat. We'll talk a little more guards. We'll hear from Stephen Vogt. We'll hear from Chase DeLauter. All that and more coming up. Stay with us.
Dust off the leg warmers, the arts are going totally tubular. Arts in Stark's campaign for the arts is cranking up the volume on creativity across Stark County. From inspiring kids in classrooms to powerful performances to colorful public art, the art makes our community shine. But even the best mixtape needs a little support. Make your gift today at artsandstark.com and help keep the arts loud, proud, and totally awesome. Arts in Stark's campaign for the arts. Now that's radical.
This place has a pulse. You hear it in the canopy, feel it in the ground. Life, fully illuminated, engulfs you. From the birds singing in the treetops above to the tiniest insects in the soil below, you take a deep, cleansing breath, filling your lungs with the essence of the forest. Now, imagine it's all gone. Healthy, life-giving forests reduced to nothing. No singing birds, no lush canopy, and water and food in short supply around the world. Time is running out to protect our forests, and without our love, they can and will disappear. It's our choice. Love it or lose it. Help protect our forests. Visit World Wildlife Fund at wwf.org/love.
I'm Angela Bassett. As a first responder on screen, I know what it means to act fast in an emergency. In real life, the same urgency can save lives, especially when it comes to a food allergy. For 33 million Americans, one bite can turn an ordinary meal into a life-threatening reaction. And too often, they don't have the one thing that could save them, epinephrine. But emergencies don't wait. And when a severe reaction happens, being prepared makes all the difference. Now, there's a needle-free option, a new way to carry epinephrine that makes it easier than ever to be ready. No needles, no hesitation. Because when the unexpected happens, the best thing you can do is be ready. Know the risk, know the options. Be ready to act. Learn more at foodallergy.org/ready to act.
Oh, yeah.
330-821-1310 is our telephone number. Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show, AM1310 WDPN. A couple of minutes before we get you to the bottom of the hour news. Sammy's best bet coming up here in about a minute. See if we can shake off the rust. We've dropped a couple in a row after having After winning 4 in a row, you know what? That's sports gambling. That's betting. That's that world. You win 4 in a row, you lose 3 in a row. You win 2 in a row, you lose 5 in a row. You win 10 in a row, you lose 4 in a row. That's just the way it goes. So we're on a 2-game skid. Going to turn that around tonight. Going to turn it around, Rainsburg. Tonight's the night. I can feel it.
I believe you.
Do you now?
Okay,
No,
I believe you.
No, you don't. I can tell. I know you long enough now. I can tell.
What?
You do not believe in me tonight.
Am I not laying the sarcasm on thick enough?
I don't know. Now, if I could see you, would it be different? But
I don't know. I don't know what I believe because I don't have any formal opinion on that. I can't make educated guesses.
So tonight, where am I going tonight? What am I doing? Michigan. What am I doing? Yes, right. Michigan State and UConn. Now, there's been some movement here since I turned my pick in today. And this happened the other night, and I was okay. Tonight, I had the Michigan State plus the 2 and a hook against UConn. Now I see it's been bet down to 1.5. That's okay, though. I'm still going to roll. I'm still going to roll with Michigan State. I like Tom Izzo here. I like Michigan State. It's March. This is when they peak. This is when they start to put it all together. UConn, while very good and very talented, they have had a lot of ups and downs this year. And I think it's kind of worn Coach Hurley out a little bit. Like he's had some meltdowns at different times. These teams haven't played each other since 2021, by the way. Sparty won that game. That was a November game. That was around Thanksgiving back then. They won 64-60. So that has absolutely nothing to do with tonight. Why I read that, I have no idea. But we're going to go Michigan State tonight. We'll take Sparty, and I guess we'll go. I guess we'll take the current line. Although I had 2.5. We'll go Michigan State plus 1.5 tonight against UConn. That's Sammy's best bet tonight. Don't forget Sammy's best bet Monday through Friday, 4:29 here on AM 1310 WDPN. News and weather next. Stay with us.
The latest news and the current Alliance area weather forecast are up next on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 4:30. Israel has launched a new wave of strikes and says its attacks on Iran will escalate and expand. This news comes after President Trump threatened to attack Iran's power plants if the Strait of Hormuz is not reopened, but he's now extended his deadline by another 10 days. Trump claimed talks on ending the war were going well. ABC's Matt Rivers is in Doha.
The president has said that Iran has let 10 oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz, a sign, he says, that negotiations are proceeding well. But just this morning, the Revolutionary Guard reiterating that the Strait of Hormuz remains closed. They said they blocked 3 more tankers just this morning from transiting.
There have been no signs that Iran is backing down. They fired new rounds of missiles at Israel and its Gulf Arab neighbors, damaging 2 ports in Kuwait. The Senate early today approved Homeland Security funds for the Transportation Security Administration and most other agencies, but not the immigration operations at the heart of the budget impasse. The deal, which was approved without a roll call vote, goes next to the House, which is expected to consider it today. It's a potential endgame to the 42-day shutdown that has jammed airports, disrupted travel, and imposed financial hardship on workers. President Trump said he will sign an order instructing the Homeland Security Secretary to immediately pay TSA workers, but if the bill becomes law, that won't be needed. Democrats have demanded changes to rein in Trump's immigration enforcement operations. An investigation is underway after a military helicopter got too close to a passenger jet heading in for a landing at Santa Ana, California. ABC's Trevor Ault reports.
Dangerous close call between a military helicopter and a packed 737 passenger jet landing near Los Angeles. Authorities say a United Airlines flight with 168 passengers and crew on board was on final approach to John Wayne Airport when that helicopter crossed in front.
Preliminary data shows the National Guard helicopter on a training mission flew just about a quarter mile in front of the jet. Vertically, they were separated by about 525 feet. The pilots of the plane had to level off after hearing the alert in the cockpit. After a 2-month absence sparked by her 84-year-old mother's apparent abduction, Savannah Guthrie will return to NBC's Today Show next month. The longtime morning show co-anchor says in an interview that aired today, "Joy will be my protest." Hoda Kotb said after their emotional interview aired that Guthrie will return April 6th. Guthrie says while she doesn't know if she can do it or if she will belong anymore, she wants to try. Authorities believe Nancy Guthrie was abducted or otherwise taken against her will. It's 40 degrees in Alliance at 432. This is WDPN News. I'm Jeff Mears.
Meteorologist Mark Johnson has the latest forecast on AM 1310 WDPN.
A lot of sunshine and blue skies through your Friday afternoon. That's good news. The bad news, it's back to chill. 45 degrees for the high today. That's it. Overnight, get ready for winter-like cold again. Our low in the middle 20s under a partly cloudy sky. Stay warm. From the 3 News Weather Center, I'm Mark Johnson.
Listen,
1310 WDPN, welcome back to the show. 330-821-1310, 330-821-1310. Our fill-in-the-blank Friday. Which former Canton professional sports franchise would you like to see come back? Which one would you love to see come back? Just, hypothetically speaking. Get those comments in. Great feedback today as well on Facebook, on X, on YouTube. You get about 5 or 6 choices. Canton Invaders, indoor soccer, Canton Indians, minor league baseball, Canton Legends, arena football, Canton Charge, basketball, Canton Bulldogs. I mean, there's 3 or 4 or 5 good solid ones. Canton Invaders and the Canton Indians are getting the most run right now. But get those comments and answers in, and we'll blend them in throughout the show here on 1310 WDPN. Don't forget Dennis Tucci, former Malvern coach. He's always going to be a Malvern coach. I always hate using the former. You know what I mean? I don't know. Once you are, you are. That make sense? Dennis Tucci coming up at 5:10 today here on the show, 1310 WDPN and all of our social media platforms. All right, late last night, early this morning, the Guardians took care of the Seattle Mariners to get their opener and put it in the bag by the score of 6-4. It was a topsy-turvy game last night. Had a couple of lead changes, had some home runs, had some good hits, had some clutch hitting, and some pretty decent pitching for the most part. Chase DeLauter was the hero last night, had a couple of home runs. Hosey had a tie-breaking 2-run double. Rocchio had a nice hit last night. It was also kind of cool. Seattle's Dominic Canzone. He went to Walsh Jesuit, just up the road. He had a couple home runs last night. But the Guardians win, and boy, the DeLauter's home runs were just, you know how they say when the ball comes off the bat of somebody, it just sounds a little differently than others. Like when it came off the bat of Griffey Jr., or when it came off the bat of Albert Bell, or when it would come off the bat of Shohei. And I'm not saying that Chase DeLauter is any of those guys, but when the ball comes off the bat of Chase DeLauter, it just sounds different. And boy, he poked a few over the fence last night. We'll do it again tonight. Indians and the Mariners close to 10 o'clock. And don't forget, tonight's game is on Apple TV. Just a little friendly reminder there from your host. What do you say we listen in here? I'm going to play. I'm going to play a couple of things. We'll play one. We'll talk it, and then we'll roll into the next. I want to first play the Chase DeLauter interview that Andre Knott had from Cleveland Guardians TV last night after the Cleveland win over Seattle. And then we'll come back in a little bit and we'll hear from head coach. We'll hear from the skipper, Stephen Vogt, his post-game interview last night, also on CLE Guards TV. So first up, this audio courtesy of CLA Guardians TV, Andre Knott with the hero last night, Chase DeLauter, on the field.
All right, Andre, corral the young man. See if you can you contain him? Get him up there, Andre. Let's go.
All right, they want us to get talking. Let's go. Chase, you had an unbelievable moment back when you played in the playoff game. But what was this like being a regular season game for you and having your family here?
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, I've had some family members that have never really been to the West Coast either, so it's a long trip for them. But, man, this was great. I mean, being able to compete with the guys and start the season off fresh and try to play really winning baseball it's unmatched.
I talked to Stephen Kwan yesterday about what he would say to you to help you get ready. And he goes, I don't have to say it to him anymore. He goes, because we saw how he reacted in the playoffs. How much did it help to have that moment back in October to prepare you for where you're at today?
Yeah, I mean, any situation like that is gut crushing, right? Like, I mean, dropping a fly ball early on in the game, but, I mean, Bybee, Kwan, all these guys, Manzo, they have my back. Whether it's playoffs, whether it's spring training, practice, whatever it is, we all got each other's back. So I think that's just a good team camaraderie, and it's all right there.
I got to tell you, my daughter, who's in Arizona still, texts me, and she goes, I can't believe this. He made it look so easy. It's not so easy. And everything you've been through and everything you've had to deal with, how have you kept your mind in the right place to be prepared for the moment when it comes?
Just being grateful when I'm available, man. I mean, it's spent so much time in rehab, and, it takes a big toll, just hoping you're back out on the field. And, of course, there's times where you go through slumps, you have bad games. It's hard not to be frustrated, but just being grateful I get to be out here and get to be a part of this team is unreal.
Well, Eric Zabrowski's been calling you the Martian. You keep hitting 2 home runs in big league games. There's going to be a lot of nicknames for Chase DeLauter. Do you have one that you want, or has anyone been calling you anything?
I'll let them come up with it.
Matt, Rick, you have heard it. You get the first chance to make up a nickname for this guy. Chase, enjoy it. Go enjoy it with your family, man. We appreciate it.
All right, there's Andre not catching up with Chase DeLauter last night. And that audio, again, courtesy of a CLA Guards TV. Guardians winner last night 6-4 over the Mariners. And then also last night, Stephen Vogt, the skipper. It's always fun to have your first post-game press conference after a win, right? Especially on opening day, opening night. And when you got a guy like DeLauter doing what he did, and of course, Jose Ramirez being Jose Ramirez, the pitching was pretty decent last night. Let's check in. Again, this audio courtesy of CLE Guardians TV and the Cleveland Guardians. Let's check in with the skipper, Stephen Vogt.
Chase DeLauter, just what do you say about having a performance like tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. We saw this kid make his debut in the postseason, was not big-eyed, and then he comes into opening day, and what a great atmosphere it was tonight in Seattle. They did a fantastic job, and but for him to come up, get a homer in his first, and then get us the insurance run, he's worked extremely hard, and he's a very talented player, so fun to see him have a night like tonight.
What's the latest on Tanner Bybee? What do you think of how
I thought Tanner pitched outstanding. A couple solo shots. That's going to happen, especially against a team like this. Leave a few pitches over the middle, but really outside of that, they didn't get much else going. And but I thought Tanner was great. So it's right shoulder inflammation. He was examined. He's strong. He's feeling good. So we just have to see how he feels the next couple days coming out of it. But definitely the right call for him to let us know he was feeling it. But as of right now, he's very strong on his exam.
Is that something he was dealing with?
This is different. This is new. Yeah.
Did you say it was any one pitch in particular to just flare up?
Just kind of felt it throughout the outing, and then again hasn't pitched in this kind of weather. And when the regular season starts, that's a whole different beast. So kind of felt it on and off, but it wasn't bad. And then as he was throwing his warm-ups, felt it was enough to come get us. And he's tough, and all these guys throw through so much discomfort. So I'm really glad he didn't try and push through it.
Whether it was last fall or even this spring, like DeLauter's heartbeat and just in these moments, does it seem like he's phased by anything?
No, and even going back to the postseason when he walked in and ready to make his debut in an elimination game, he's just like, yeah, I'm ready. It's like another baseball game. So we're really excited about Chase. Obviously, he had a great spring, and then he rolled it right into game one.
We don't talk about Eric Zabrowski much, maybe not enough. Just what does he give you the last couple of years, and then do you look like that vintage self?
Yeah, he did. He's getting better. I think when he first came up, we saw the stuff. The strike throwing was a little bit, and he's still going to struggle with that from time to time, but he's got a slow heartbeat. You want to talk about a slow heartbeat? He's smiling, and I've never seen that guy, his pulse change. He likes the big moment. It doesn't matter, left-handed, right-handed. He wants the ball, and with Gaddy out, he stepped up in a huge way in that role tonight and did a great job.
To have Brocchio in that 9-hole, able to kind of set what he's doing down there.
There's a reason he hits there. It's to get on base for the top of the order, and he did a great job. I mean, he's had a great spring as well. You want to talk about somebody who's been putting together quality at bat after quality at bat, and we've seen Rocchio he's growing up, and just the maturity to take what the pitcher gives him, not try and do too much there, and gets a 2-run double. And really excited about the way Brian's been swinging the bat.
What you guys envisioned Hoskins when you brought him into the fold, what he could contribute this kind of
Professional at bats. Talk about another slow heartbeat, right? And just the experience that he has to talk to our young hitters. And but Reese with a big night coming in, again, we didn't know what we were going to get, but we knew we were going to get a professional hitter, and coming through, getting on base 4 times tonight. Maybe he didn't score every time, but you keep the line moving. That gets the top of the order back up again in the 9th, and that's a huge win.
Revamp bullpen. Kind of Brogdon, Armstrong. What do you think?
I thought they were both great. Sean came in through a first pitch fastball that got hit, and then proceeded to punch the next 2 guys out. So we feel really good about our bullpen. Obviously, we're going to be learning about Colin, Sean, and Connor. We got to learn what they're going to do and how they're going to fit into this bullpen with the guys that we've had, and Peyton as well. But we feel really good about the arms we have, and this was a great night number 1 for us. But we'll enjoy it tonight, and then another one tomorrow.
Been a big leaguer for a while. When you see a guy like DeLauter do what he did tonight, just what does that say to you about who he is and what he has going on?
I think the coolest part is that he's not afraid of the moment. Maybe he doesn't know. Maybe ignorance is bliss, but to have that slow of a heartbeat in an away home opener, obviously the crowd's all charged up because of what this team was able to do last year. So yeah, just super cool. We're all super happy for him, happy for us as well that we have him. But man, what a way to start the year.
Pretty cool stuff right there. Again, that audio courtesy of CLE Guardians TV. Stephen Vogt, I think that was Reese Hoskins there. He got a question in there at the end. But pretty good way to start the year. 161 to go, right? We're 1-0. We're undefeated. Game 2 tonight coming up here out in Seattle. And again, tonight's game, don't forget now, is on Apple TV. It's on Apple TV. Let's see here. Wednesday night was the I'm going to call Wednesday like the opening round. Okay, I'm not going to call it opening day. It was the opening round where you had the New York Yankees and the San Francisco Giants. And yesterday, Thursday, to me, was the official opening day for baseball. Everybody was playing. There were games all afternoon. There was a couple of games at night. We just kind of want to go back and take a look at some of the little storylines that came out of yesterday's games, if you missed them at all. The Mets took care of the Pirates 11-7. Paul Skeens, remember, did not make it out of the first inning yesterday. It appears, again, it's overreaction day, but it appears the Chicago White Sox are really going to stink again this year. Brewers beat them yesterday by the score of 14-2. The Nationals beat the Cubbies yesterday 10-4. Orioles beat the Twins 2-1. The O's are going to be good. Red Sox shut out the Reds 3-0 at the Great American Ballpark. Rainsburg, did you see what happened last night in Cincinnati?
No.
Another just people acting stupid.
Oh, yeah.
After the game. A big, I wish I could show you. I mean, you could probably pull the video up. But just insanity. In the parking lots, in the streets, after the game, crowds of people rushing each other. It was just
not because of the shutout.
No. I mean, just people being stupid.
Oh, just cause.
Just being
just Cincinnati
they were
Cincinnati.
They were being Cincinnati stupid. That's what they were doing last night. Tigers handled the Padres 8-2. Tarek Skubal picked up the win. He's a beast. Angels shut out the Astros last night 3-0 in Houston. Cardinals outscored the Rays 9-7. Phillies beat the Rangers 5-3 in Philly. I watched a little bit of this game last night. Dodgers beat the Diamondbacks by the score of 8-2. I wanted to check the crowd in St. Louis yesterday. Okay, they sold it out. You're saying, what do you mean they sold it out? Of course they sold it out. It's baseball town. It's St. Louis. And And 46,000. It was 93 degrees yesterday in St. Louis. But the Cardinals they've been feeling some backlash from their fans. The last year and a half, 2 years, they've had some of the lowest attended games in the history of Busch Stadium the last couple of years. Now, I'm going to be keeping my eyes on that. We always refer to St. Louis as a baseball town, a baseball city. And they are. And they have been. And they would go to games no matter what kind of product was on the field. Now, they usually won a lot more than they lost, right? They've had some great talent, great players, great managers, World Series championships. I mean, I could go on and on and on. Bob Gibson. Great skippers like Whitey Herzog. But the last couple of years, the fan base has kind of revolted on the franchise. And I'm seeing them now offering a lot of ticket specials and like all-you-can-eat seats for $20. I mean, stuff that they would never have to do to get people to come to games. You're starting to see that now in St. Louis. So I'm going to keep my eyes on the Cardinals and how many folks are showing up there at the old ballpark. Just like tonight, I don't think that St. Louis is one of the, okay, they are. So, yeah, they're one of the franchises where they will schedule an opening day game, and then they'll take the day off the next day in case the other game couldn't get in because of weather. So they're not going to play tonight, but they'll play Saturday, Sunday. I'm going to keep my eyes on the box score there and see how many people are showing up. Out in Los Angeles last night, I got to watch a little bit of the Dodgers and a little bit of the Diamondbacks. No contest. Yamamoto last night for the Dodgers, 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 6 strikeouts. Zach Gallen got hit pretty hard last night by the Dodgers. Will Smith, Kyle Tucker, Mookie Betts. You know, it rolls on for the LA Dodgers as they go for the three-peat this year as far as the World Series in Major League Baseball. But again, tonight you get the Guards and the Mariners. That's a 9:45 first pitch tonight. Wanted to make sure I get that out. 9:45 tonight on Apple TV. You got college hoops tonight. You got the Cavs and the Heat, 7:30 up in Cleveland, and Jarrett Allen returning tonight for the wine and gold. We'll see what Big J brings to the floor tonight against the Heat up in downtown Cleveland. We'll take a break. We're coming up on 10 minutes till the top of the hour. Phone lines are open, 330-821-1310. You can get a text in. You can also get a message in to us on the Q92 Radio YouTube channel in the chat. We're open for business there as well. Stay with us, everybody. More to come, 1310 WDPN.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-498-2098 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as 1 day. Just dial 1-800-498-2098 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-498-2098 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Kids across America are going to school hungry. Millions of kids every day. Hungry kids get sick more often and can struggle in school. It can be harder for them to focus and learn. But one simple thing can help change all of this for a hungry child in America. Good, healthy food and the energy it brings. With help from caring people across America, No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures.
We want to ensure that all of our kids have healthy meals every day.
Thank you.
Thank you for helping feed our kids.
To learn more about ending child hunger in America, go to helpnokidhungry.org today.
Got about 7 minutes till the top of the hour. 7 minutes away from all the latest news and the weather here on 1310 WDPN. If you missed it earlier today, Tiger Woods was involved in an accident in Jupiter, Florida. I guess was pretty close to his home or the neighborhood in which he lives. It sounds a lot better than it did like an hour and a half ago. No injuries reported now. This is according to Yahoo Sports. That was about 15, 20 minutes ago. We do understand the Sheriff's Department's going to have a statement coming up here at the top of the hour. But looks like things turned out as well as they could have turned out as far as a car crash is concerned. So that's definitely good news there. Saw that come across the wire, and I thought, oh, man. You start thinking the worst. But apparently everybody's going to be okay there. All right, our fill-in-the-blank Friday today. If you could bring back one Canton professional sports franchise, which one would you bring back? And maybe tell us why. Just in a hypothetical kind of fantasy land thing. Because I'm pretty sure none of these teams are coming back. But if you could, which former Canton sports franchise would you bring back?
Mark on YouTube is chiming in with another Canton Invaders soccer at the Civic Center.
Canton Invaders, man, they are. I think if I was able to tally these up, I think Canton Invaders would be number 1 from the votes. I think the Canton Indians would be 2, then the Canton Charge, and then the Canton Legends. I don't think anybody's put the Canton Bulldogs in. Of course, that was so long ago. But, yeah, keep those coming in on the Sam Bourquin Show Facebook page, AM1310 WDPN. You can actually take the poll question there on X, and you can get the chat going as well on the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. Again, Dennis Tucci, legendary high school basketball coach, coming up at 5:10 today here on the show, 1310 WDPN. Cavs going to take on the Heat tonight, as we mentioned. Jared Allen looks like he's going to play tonight. Looks like he's been cleared. Looks like he's going to be ready to go. I would almost bet the farm there's going to be a limit or a minute restriction on him. But it will be good to see him out there getting up and down the floor again, getting into the rhythm with the guys, as he's been out for 9-10 games now. But it looks like he's going to be ready to go. Jared Allen, it's an interesting situation. Like, we all sit here and say, well, if there was one guy we would trade, it would be him. And then, excuse me, he's gone for a couple of weeks or a month with an injury, and you're like, oh, man, I wish we had Jared Allen back. It's just one of those weird dichotomies, you know what I mean? Because he's pretty consistent, usually. But then there's the night, like 1 out of every 6 games or 5 games, he just disappears. And he doesn't get any rebounds. And he's just not a part of the game. And then he'll come out the next 2 or 3 games, and he'll go 18 points, 19 rebounds. 23 points, 20 rebounds. And you're like, oh, my God, okay, this is the guy. This is what we've been talking about. This is what we need every night, or almost every night, for this team to attain the goal of winning a title, or at least get to the NBA Finals. And then he'll disappear again. Then he'll come back and have a nice game, and then we find out during the post-game press conference he's going to be out for 3 or 4 weeks. Like, it's been that kind of a roller coaster ride all year with Jared Allen. So what will he bring to the table tonight? What will he bring tonight for the Cavaliers at home against the Miami Heat? Will he be able to just get right back into the flow? Is it going to be a little bit of a feeling out process? He's played in 51 games. So he's missed, 15, 16 games this year. But there are nights where Jared Allen has been maybe the best guy on the floor. Scoring, rebounding, defending, blocking shots, running the floor, filling the lanes on a fast break. And you're like, you go, Jared. This is what we're talking about. And then the slide will come. Inevitably, he'll have a couple of clunkers back to back. And we're like, what is going on? I'm guessing, I'm going to try to get inside the head here of Coach Kenny Atkinson. I'm going to guess that Jared Allen plays no more than 20 minutes tonight. Maybe 22, 23. It's a 48-minute game. I don't think he will play 25. I don't. I think he'll work himself back in. But you bring a Jared Allen in who's hungry and ready to play and ready to go 110%. You bring that in with Spider, and you bring that in with the Beard and Mobley and Strus and Merrill and Schroeder and Keon Ellis, Thomas Bryant. Okay, now we're cooking. But we got to have everybody. We're not going to win anything without a piece of the core guys. Okay? Out of that starting five, we're not going to win anything if you don't have all five. And I'm not saying that nobody else is capable of stepping up. But if we're going to go all the way, we're going to play in June. We're going to go play for the Larry O'Brien Trophy. You got to have everybody. And you got to be as close to 100% as you possibly can. No guarantees there, obviously. But that's what the Cavaliers are going to need if they're going to go all the way. All right, we got the news, we got the weather coming up at the top of the hour. Don't forget, 5:10 today. Dennis Tucci, 43 years as a head coach in basketball, in high school basketball, 33 years at Malvern. He announced his retirement a couple of days ago. We'll talk about that with Coach. We'll talk about his career, how he'll look forward to retirement, and just kind of take a little trip down the lane for you. That's coming up at 5:10 here on the Sam Bourquin Show. After the news, stay with us, 1310 WDPN.
The latest news and the current Alliance area weather forecast are up next on AM 1310 WDPN Alliance.
ABC News, I'm Mike Tabusky. House Republicans are preparing to vote tonight on a measure to fund the Department of Homeland Security fully. This after they rejected a Senate bill that excludes Immigration and Customs Enforcement as well as Border Patrol. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says his party is prepared to support it if it meets certain criteria.
Make sure TSA agents are paid. Stand up for FEMA and for the Coast Guard and for our cybersecurity professionals.
The new measure would have to go back to the Senate for approval, where Democrats are signaling it is unlikely to pass without reforms to ICE. In the meantime, President Trump has signed a memorandum directing the DHS Secretary and the Office of Management and Budget to find the funds to pay TSA workers. Stocks closed down sharply to end the week as the war in Iran continues to upend global oil markets, and a U.S. district judge has agreed to reduce the sentence of Theranos founder Elizabeth Holmes. This is ABC News.
Offer not.
At Macy's VIP sale, there isn't just one way to save. First, take 25% off our best brands like Good American, Tommy Hilfiger, Calvin Klein, and so many more. Then, take 15% off must-have beauty and fragrance from Miu Miu, Yves Saint Laurent, and Prada. And Star Rewards members can earn Star Money even faster on everything else. Only at Macy's VIP sale. Hurry, it all ends Sunday. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Progressive's Home Quote Explorer helps you easily find and buy the right coverage for you. It's everything you've always wanted. Well, I mean, as far as a website that lets you shop, quote, and buy insurance in one place. But hey, maybe that is everything you've always wanted. Yeah, people have different types of dreams. And if all you've ever been searching for is a website that helps you choose home insurance rates and coverage, boy, do we have great news about Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices.
Now, the latest Alliance area news from Jeff Mears on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 5:02. Severe storms triggered tornado watches and warnings across northeast Ohio Thursday night, with a possible funnel cloud reported in Perry Township in Stark County. No touchdown has been confirmed. The National Weather Service in Cleveland is now asking residents to report any damage, including hail, flooding, high winds. Meanwhile, power restoration is nearly complete, with only a small number of customers still without electricity in Stark County and most surrounding areas. Outages and scattered storm debris forced officials to close the Northwest School District today. Plain Township fire officials say crews quickly put out a house fire, apparently triggered by lightning striking an exterior antenna. Firefighters responded around 9:10 Thursday night to the 1000 block of Marquardt Avenue Northwest. Flames were visible near the roof. Units from Jackson Township, North Canton, and Greentown assisted in putting out the flames. Damage is estimated at $70,000. No injuries were reported. The Highway Patrol says a juvenile correctional officer was severely injured in an attack at the Indian River Juvenile Correctional Facility. 19-year-old Brian Stone allegedly assaulted the man Tuesday. The incident at the Massillon facility was investigated by the patrol. Stone was arrested Thursday on a warrant charging him with felonious assault. He was arraigned today in Massillon Municipal Court. A pretrial hearing is scheduled for April 6th. Stone is being held on $75,000 bond. A Stark County grand jury has declined to indict two men in connection with a deadly shooting in Canton. The no bill concerns 19-year-old Nico Marshall of Canton and 33-year-old Nathaniel Sanford of Delroy. They were accused in the January 28th shooting that killed 20-year-old Tashawn Smith Newman of Massillon. Prosecutors say the incident occurred during a child custody exchange at an apartment complex on Allen Page Drive Southeast. Kamani James and Devian Newman of Massillon have been indicted on charges of tampering with evidence and discharging a firearm, respectively. A new fire chief has been sworn in for Nimishillen Township. Don Jordan, a nearly 40-year veteran, took the oath Thursday with family, friends, and fellow firefighters in attendance. Trustees also approved new pool safety rules, allowing covers in place of fences in some cases. The road department will purchase a new John Deere tractor and mower for $100,000. Trustees also approved more than $9,000 for employee insurance and workers' compensation costs. A 12-month moratorium on data center construction has been approved by Plain Township trustees. Tuesday's move aims to assess potential effects on residents and infrastructure. Trustees Scott Haas and John Sabo voted for the pause, with Brooke Harless absent. The decision follows resident concerns in nearby Perry Township over noise, pollution, and higher utility costs from a new data center. Officials plan to use the moratorium period to study zoning changes and long-term effects on the township. 3 amusement rides at the Hall of Fame Village in Canton are now up for sale. Officials say the rides, including a Ferris wheel-style attraction, zip line, and drop line, are not economically viable or a good fit for the site. They're posted on ridesforyou.com. Meanwhile, construction is moving forward on the Game Day Bay Water Park, which is now expected to open in the spring of 2027, along with a new hotel project. Akron-Canton Airport is seeing short security lines, even as TSA delays have been experienced across the country. Staffing shortages during the partial government shutdown pushed wait times at some airports past 4 hours. The Senate has approved funding for TSA and most Homeland Security agencies. The measure now heads to the House. It does not include immigration funding at the center of the impasse. Dr. Carol Sutton will take over as the next superintendent of the new Philadelphia School District. The Board of Education unanimously approved her hiring during a special meeting Wednesday. Sutton currently serves as Human Resources Director for the Stark County Educational Service Center and previously worked at Marlington Schools as an Assistant Superintendent and Curriculum Director. She'll begin August 1st with a salary of just over $151,000 and will also help with the transition. She succeeds Amy Wentworth, who is leaving to lead the Indian Valley School District. An ongoing investigation in Portage County is focusing on the shooting deaths of 2 people inside their home. The sheriff's office says deputies responded shortly after 3:15 Wednesday afternoon to a welfare check on Summit Road in Ravenna Township. They forced entry and discovered the victims with fatal gunshot wounds. They were later identified as 78-year-old Connie Edens and 70-year-old Donald Edens. Authorities say a Wellsville man boasted about abusing a 10-year-old child and possessed more than 500 images of child sexual abuse material. 44-year-old Merle Reynolds was sentenced Tuesday to 151 months in prison by federal judge Patricia Gauguin. He pleaded guilty in December to receiving, distributing, and possessing images of minors in sexual conduct and was ordered to pay $13,000 in restitution. The case stems from an FBI investigation out of Youngstown, where Reynolds used the internet to share abusive images and chatted with undercover officers. The Highway Patrol says a driver suffered critical injuries after hitting a school bus on State Route 7 in St. Clair Township. The wreck happened before 8:30 Thursday morning near Beaver Local High School when 2 buses were stopped to pick up children. The car failed to stop in time and struck the second bus. The car's driver was trapped and taken to St. Elizabeth Health Center in Boardman. No students or bus drivers were hurt. Delays in utility relocations have slowed the 3-year, $18 million project to widen Western Reserve Road. As a result, Mahoning County commissioners have approved pursuing litigation to address the setbacks. WKBN TV reports County Engineer Pat Giannetti says crews had to shift to other sections while waiting on utility work and hopes future issues can be resolved quickly. A 3rd lane, center lane, and new right turn lanes will be added. Despite delays, the project is still expected to be completed by fall. An investigation of Youngstown's first homicide of 2026 continues. 24-year-old Terrence Sims was shot March 20th in a Canfield Road barbershop parking lot. Police say he was walking into the shop with his 4-year-old son when someone shot him several times. His son was not hurt. Police linked a vehicle found on fire Sunday in Coatesville Township to the shooting. No arrests have been made. A former recovery center owner will be sentenced Monday for a domestic incident. 45-year-old Ryan Sheridan pleaded guilty Thursday in Mahoning County Common Pleas Court to attempted abduction and domestic violence. Prosecutors are recommending 2 years in prison. Police say on October 23rd, Sheridan dragged a woman from a car into her home in Austintown and tried to keep her there. She called police after convincing him to let her go to a friend's house. Sheridan is on federal parole for a 2020 Medicare fraud conviction with a parole violation pending. Youngstown police arrested 3 people after finding drugs and a handgun during a search of a home Wednesday. Officers executed a search warrant at a house on East Avondale Avenue. They turned up crack cocaine, meth, fentanyl, over $2,000 cash, and a handgun in a mini fridge. 26-year-old Kwan Colpetro faces multiple felony drug charges. 31-year-old Jerry Woods was charged with possession and tampering with evidence. 32-year-old David Park was arrested for cocaine possession. All 3 were booked into the Mahoning County Jail and were scheduled for arraignment today. A trial is set for August 17th for Thomas and Caprice Sledge, accused in the 2024 shooting death of a U.S. postal worker in Warren. The federal government says it will not seek the death penalty. The 45-year-old father and 25-year-old son are charged with murder in the death of John T. Davis, who was shot while delivering mail. Both have been held without bond and could face life in prison if convicted. It's 40 degrees in Alliance at 5:09. This is the local edition of WDPN News. I'm Jeff Mears.
Now, the Alliance Area Weather Forecast from Mark Johnson on AM 1310 WDPN.
Well, our weather headline for today, welcome back to cold. Indeed, sunshine coming out for the afternoon. Our high today, only 45 degrees, a little gusty out there. Overnight, partly cloudy skies, chilling down, our low 25. From the 3 News Weather Center, I'm Mark Johnson.
Live from the AM 1310 WDPN studio, it's time for live and local sports talk. It's the Sam Bourquin Show.
I'm ready.
Give the show a call at 330-821-1310.
Good call, meatball.
Watch the Sam Bourquin Show on the AM 1310 Facebook page, the Q92 YouTube page, and on X. This is the Sam Bourquin Show on AM 1310 WDPN.
Big man, 6'4", 235. He sends this one high in the air to deep right. Really back, track, wall, leaps, it is gone. Chase DeLauter with a solo home run in his first at bat. Now the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, drilled, deep left field. Back is a Rosarena, over his head. Short hops the wall. Rocchio scores. DeLauter coming home. Here's the throw to the plate. Slides in safely. To right in the first. He drives this one deep right center. Forget about it. Chase DeLauter. What a a regular season debut.
Ticks down to 6, down to 5. Smith shaking, bacon. Smith puts it up. No, the foul. It's good with 0.7 left.
And Sharp and McCarty for 3. With the rebound by Wagler, and that'll do it. And Illinois is going to go to the Elite Eight for the second time in a couple of years.
All right, that audio courtesy there of CBS and TBS TV. March Madness continuing last night. We got 4 more big games tonight, 2 tomorrow, 2 Sunday, and we'll be ready to roll into Indianapolis for the Final Four for the 2025-26 college basketball season. Welcome back, everybody, to the Sam Bourquin Show, AM 1310 WDPN. We are streaming live all over on the WDPN Facebook page, the WDPN Twitter and X page, the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. We got the chat open right now. Coming up in about a minute, we're going to bring in the legend, Dennis Tucci, 43 years as head coach, 33 at Malvern. Coach is standing by. We're going to get to him in 30 seconds. I do have to update the breaking news on Tiger Woods, though, that we've heard there was a crash this afternoon, a little bit after 2 o'clock down in Jupiter, Florida, in Tiger's neighborhood. The sheriff's department has just spoken, and this is what we know. Courtesy of ESPN, Tiger Woods arrested and charged with DUI, property damage, and refusal to submit for the Martin County Sheriff's in Florida. He was involved in a rollover crash a little bit after 2 o'clock this afternoon. That's the latest there. I'm sure there will be more coming, and as soon as we get more information, oh boy, we will pass that along to you. All right, Cavs in action against the Heat tonight, 7:30 up at Rocket Arena. Guardians in Seattle tonight, 9:45 out in Washington. That game, don't forget, is on Apple TV. Okay, what a high school basketball season it was, right? Heck, we go back to last year. We had 2 Stark County teams go all the way to get to the championship game. Louisville Leopards bring it home. Yeah, there's a little tie-in here with that. This year, Massillon Tigers go down, bring it home. And then Dennis Tucci, long-time high school basketball coach, 33 years with the Malvern Hornets, announced he was going to retire. And I saw that, and I was like, I was mixed feelings. I was like, man, that's awesome. Congratulations to Coach going out. You got to the Final Four. You finished off the dream. And the other side of me was, oh, come on. You mean Coach is no longer going to be walking the sidelines at Malvern on a Tuesday or Friday night? And that kind of made me sad. But I am looking forward to talking to Coach. Let's bring him in right now. Dennis Tucci onto the Sam Bourquin Show right here on AM 1310 WDPN and all of our social media platforms. Coach Tucci, good afternoon. How are you? Congratulations, my man, on your decision. And how we doing on this Friday afternoon?
I'm doing great today. Looking forward to a little spring break action down here in Malvern. And I appreciate you having me on today, Sam.
Oh, Coach, I've been looking forward to this since I don't know if you heard earlier, but I shared a story with our listeners. My plan was for Monday or Tuesday to have Coach Hose on to talk about his title, and then to have you on to talk about your career. And so I sent out a couple of messages, which I thought were going to you. And apparently they were not, because there was another D. Tucci I had in my phone book, but I never put 2 and 2 together. I was like, what the? Okay. So finally I said, you know what I'm going to do what any 55-year-old man would do. I'm going to go to Twitter, and I'm going to find out the information there. I got your cell phone number, and I reached out. So I appreciate you getting back to me today.
Not a problem.
That was wild. Okay. So 43 years on the bench, on the sidelines. And I want to reference a couple of my questions here today. Steve Dorchuk just wrote an outstanding article on you in the Canton repository. Steve is the best writer around here, and I want to thank him for that great story. But I guess it all kind of comes full circle, and you know what? You finally got to the state Final Four, and I know you were so happy and so proud for the community, the kids, the school. take us through this whole year and what a wild and adventurous journey it was for you guys.
It was crazy, and that means a lot to our community. My brother and I were just talking recently. He's 80 years old, but we were just talking about back in the day when we'd have. I'm not kidding you. I'm not exaggerating any bit at all. We would have 50 to 60 Malvern people go to the state tournament every year. And I know a lot of communities could say that, but we really did. We had tons of people going to the state tournament and enjoying those days, watching high school basketball and just the camaraderie of all of our friends and so forth. So that was always a dream, of course, to get to do that. And then to be able to do it my last year with a squad that it was simply a rebuilding year. I mean, we've been good lately and everything's fallen into place. We lost 2 years ago in the regional final after our team was the only undefeated team in the state of Ohio. We were 22-0, got to the regional final down at OU and ran into a buzzsaw called Harvest Prep and played great for 3 quarters. And they did to us what we do to other teams. They simply wore us down with their athleticism and their depth. And we ended up losing by 19 or 20 points. But then this year we have one Letterman back, happened to be my son Tripp, and he averaged a whopping 2 points a game as a junior. But we did have some talented juniors that were undefeated as sophomores on the JV squad. And so we knew we had talent coming. We just didn't know how long it was going to take them to gel. Unfortunately for us, with the new setup with the 7 divisions, we went back to Division 7, and there are no Harvest Preps or Richmond Heights or Lutheran East in our path. We knew that somebody that had a school like us, a community school with a neighborhood kids playing together, one of them would have to beat us. And we knew that we were going to be a tough out because of our tradition and because of our defense. We really played good defense all season long. We were very inconsistent on the offensive end all season long, and somehow we put it together for a magical tournament ride that ended up in Dayton.
I mean, magical, I think, just is the perfect adjective for that, Coach, because, you've been around long enough to know some years I think you feel deep down inside, maybe you'll tell your staff, hey, this is going to be the year. We got X, Y, Z, we're ready to go. Then there's years you're like, I'm not sure. And lo and behold, I'm not sure year turns into a ride all the way to the state tournament. It's just funny how things work out, but you had to maybe even enjoy that even more because maybe you didn't quite expect it.
Absolutely. And that's the beauty of sports. We tell our kids, there are upsets every day in the world of sports, whether it be hockey, basketball, baseball, football, upsets every day. And it kind of took upon the mantra, why not us? I don't know who came up with that for our community this year, but that gained steam each game that we would win.
Dennis Tucci is our guest, legendary high school basketball coach, 33 years with the Malvern Hornets, 43 years total. Kind enough to spend some time with us today here on 1310 WDPN, the Sam Bourquin Show. Coach, I was also referencing earlier today in the show, I could kick my own self in the rear end. It just didn't get down to Malvern to do enough games over the years and decades. And it was like, if I could just have picked the town up and moved it a half an hour, it would have been so much easier to do a lot more of your games. But you know what? A couple years ago, my partner and I, Lee Foster, we said, you know what? There was a couple big Federal League games going on. I think Massillon had a big game. And we're like, you know what? Screw it. We're going to Carroll County. We're going to go down. We're going to go down and do.
I remember that.
And you guys played Buckeye Trail.
Mm-hmm.
And you boat raced them. But I had never experienced until that night what it was like to spend a Friday night in the Malvern gymnasium and watching you coach and watch the community come out. And I walked in, I think it was, 5:15, 5:30. And I said, wow, so this is what this is all about. Everybody's in their seat. They're rhythmically clapping before you guys even come out to warm up. Everybody has green on. Here comes Coach Tooch. You had the short sleeve shirt. You had the tie. Everybody was just, I was like, I stepped back in time, but in a beautiful kind of way. It was like Hoosiers to me that night, Coach. I'll never forget it. You guys win the game. And we're talking to people in the stands. I'm like, I just couldn't believe it. So we packed the equipment up. And Lee and I are getting ready to head back home, and we decided to make a little detour. We decided to go to the Firehouse Grill. And we parked the car. I said, what the hell? What's this? And we walked in, place is packed. We sat down at a little high top table to the left by the wall, and you came in like 5 or 10 minutes later, and it was like the Pope walked in. You sat down, everybody crowded. It was like you were holding court on a Friday night in the town. It was one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life. So we're sitting there, we got some wings, we had a couple of drinks, we're talking to everybody, and I don't like to bother folks after a game. You're on your time. You're spending time. You're having fun. So we came over and said goodbye and thank you for letting us come down and do the game. And it was such a great scene. I wish I could have bottled it up because that's what that is all about. And you got to experience that for so long. What was that like for you, Coach?
Well, I've been truly blessed. Our community, they really support all of their athletes. Our football team, our basketball team. When our girls are good, we support them, and it's just been a blessing for me to be a part of it. I played here. I know what it's about. I know, when we had big wins, there's a celebration going on. People like to win basketball games and football games in Malvern, and I've been truly blessed. One quick story, Sam. This is true. When we were back in undefeated in 2008, we finished our regular season with a makeup game down at Ridgewood.
Okay.
And we had plans to stop at that firehouse that you mentioned. They have a back room back in that day, and we're going to feed all the basketball players and all the cheerleaders in the back room, staying out of the bar, of course. And they did that. Well, our superintendent was a woman named Connie Griffin, and she was a very big sports fan, and she admitted to all of our games and so forth. And she come in that back room as white as a ghost. And I said, Connie, what's the matter? She goes, all these people out there, it's packed, on the bar. Yeah. They want the kids to walk through. I said, Connie, I know it goes against everything that you and I have been through as educators, but this is Malvern, and we would do more harm if we didn't walk through there. And we told our kids, not everybody has to go. If you choose not to, we understand. But we just made a circle around the bar and walked around. Everybody slapped 5, gave hugs, slapped everybody in there 5. Everybody got well wishes, and then all the kids went out the back door and on their way. And I'll never forget that night, because where else does that happen except at the firehouse in Malvern, Ohio?
Right. The next, I thought you were going to tell me you were busting out the parlay sheets in the back for all the kids to play after the game.
We'll keep that on the down low, Sam.
That's right. That's that. We don't talk about that. So, but that's what I'm talking about, Coach. And it's just that, I don't know. It's almost like nostalgia in the present day, and you just don't get that everywhere. What was it like for you to make the decision to step down from all of that after all these years?
Well, it's been coming on. My wife, Paul, and I had a baby late in life, and I was 45 and she was 44. And that child now is Tripp, and he's a senior in high school. So I always had it in my head that I would go. And I wanted to keep coaching as long as he was playing. That was important to me if I could do it. And I felt good and things were going well. So I stayed with it. But I always had this year marked that this would be my last year. And I'm at peace with it. It's time to do other things. I love being outside. I love listening to my country music and doing crossword puzzles and reading. And I only get to read 2 months a year, July and August. Now I'm back to school and being an English teacher, we're reading books in class, so it's hard to start another one. And I enjoy that time. And then, to be honest with you, Sam, I'm really looking forward to being a grandpa. I know everybody says for family reasons, but my oldest son, Tyler, lives in Newark. He has 3 kids. We don't get down there nearly enough to see those. Travis, my son, has two kids up here in our areas. We see them all the time, which is great. But I hated not seeing the other 3 as much as possible. And they're just now entering into sports. One's a 3rd grader, one's a 2nd grader, one's in kindergarten. But the oldest one is the 7th grade, and he's a very good basketball player at Newark Catholic. Of course, I've got to see him play baseball and football, but we're a basketball family. Tyler was obviously a very good basketball player, our all-time leading scorer here at Malvern. But his wife was a good player, too. She played at West Liberty. In fact, that's where they met. So their son's a 7th grader. And in the last 2 years, Sam, I've got to see him play one time. And that eats at me. I want to see him play all the time. So now that I take this off my plate, and Paula, my wife, has been retired for 4 years from Dover. So we've been itching to have some time when we do some traveling and get down to Newark more often.
That sounds fantastic. I got to tell you, Newark, for those that aren't down in Licking County, I had 3-4 cousins that all attended Newark Catholic. 2 of them played for the legendary J.D. Graham
Right, and football
team, and so I spent a lot of time on Green Wave Drive down there.
There you go. Yeah.
Up. So that's awesome that you get to go down and watch your grandson playing. Gosh, I'm shocked he's good at basketball. I mean, who would have thought that was going to happen? So that'll be neat for you to make some trips down there and hang out and watch him play. We're joined by Dennis Tucci, retiring from high school basketball as a coach after a 43-year career. Kind enough to hang with us here on a Friday on the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN. Coach, did you ever think 43 years ago, when you got your start, when the first time that somebody put a basketball in your hand, that it would take you all the way through 2026 and all the experiences and all the great stories that would happen in between?
No, I mean, like I said, I've been blessed. I've been truly blessed to have this ride. You know, when I first started out, I got the girls' job at Parkersburg Catholic. And Parkersburg Catholic, all schools in West Virginia at that time, they played basketball in the fall and volleyball in the winter. So it was beautiful for me. I started August 1 as the head girls basketball coach. And then I got to be the JV boys coach starting in December. So I did basketball from August to March, which was a beautiful job for me at 21 years old. And we were good, but I didn't think we were this good. But we lost 7 games. And then we got hot and won the state championship. So, this is easy. We won the next year too. 26-2. I had a girl that scored over 2,000 points, and she ended up scoring over 1,000 at West Virginia University. And I had a girl scored over 1,000 points. That's without the 3-point line. So this is easy, you know. So I get the Louisville job, and we go 8-55 in 3 years, and I get fired because I had more technicals than wins, and I realized it wasn't so easy.
Yeah, I know. Hey, 657 wins later, we can laugh about that on a day like today. That is fantastic. Coach, you mentioned country music. I got to ask, what are we listening to now that you'll have a lot of extra time? What's some of the groups? What's some of the music you'll be tuned in with?
It seems like I like all the guy singers better. I don't mean to be that way, but those are the guys that I like. Him currently it's Jason Aldean and Kane Brown, all those guys. But I like the old school stuff too. On Sunday afternoons, I get to listen to my oldies. So I like that stuff.
Nice. I'll tell you what, you've got an exciting time coming up. You're going to be doing crossword puzzles, country music. You can watch your grandson play. Lots of time to spend with the wife and the family. And I know you're hoping, and I'm kind of hoping too, that there will be another Tucci on the sidelines soon for the Malvern basketball job. Is that pretty close to maybe hopefully happening, or is that going to just be a little bit of a process maybe?
We certainly hope so. I mean, Travis has done a great job as my assistant. Our record the last 10, 11 years that he's been with us has been crazy. And I told somebody today that I've had 3 or 4 coaches in our collection of coaches that we like to hang with. They've actually called him a couple of times to talk about a future opponent instead of calling me. That's his reputation out there. He's getting a reputation that he knows the game of basketball. What he does on film work with our kids, it's just tremendous. I think it's his time. I think he's deserved the shot at it, and we're going to be good. So I don't want to upset the apple cart and start a whole new thing here. Yeah, he's going to make some changes. Don't get me wrong.
Sure,
he'll make some changes. I want him to. I want him to do what he sees best. But I kid him. I tell him probably 15, 20 times this year. I said, Travis, you can't say that next year. And he would laugh. I know that. You can say it, but I can't. Okay. Because it's going to be different. With referees, with players. I'm the old guy that everybody says, well, we only got to tolerate him for another 2 months or whatever it is. And he knows that. He knows that it's going to be different coming from him as the young guy again. But we have a great report. 3 or 4 times this year, I reach out to a parent to have a question with them, but something was going either with an injury or something, and they would reply with, "Well, we already told Travis." Oh,
yeah, we've been there, done that already, Coach.
Yeah, we already talked about it with Travis. Okay, I'm still here. I'm still coaching, but that was a good feeling, and he's earned it. He's earned the trust of some of our parents and our players, and I certainly hope he gets the opportunity.
Well, that'll be neat. That'll be neat for him to follow and work his magic too down there on Tuesday and Friday nights and whatever else you guys time up. Coach, I'll kind of end it with this, and I mentioned this earlier during the show as well. And you and I are kind of in the same age range, a little bit, sort of. I said that when I was growing up and I got a little bit older, and Johnny Carson had come and gone, and he retired from late night TV. It was like, as long as if you didn't watch him that night, but you knew he was on, you slept better. Everything was right with the world when Johnny Carson was on and you knew he was there. And I think it's just kind of weird because it's like, I'm so happy that you have retired and you're going to do all this stuff, but it's a little sad because it's hard to imagine you not being on the bench or walking the sidelines for a Malvern game. It was like, we didn't get to come down and do a lot of games, but we know Coach Tucci is down there. It's okay. And that's kind of how I'm feeling on a day like today. But I appreciate you coming on today. Congratulations on your career, your wins, all the lives you've touched, the community of Malvern that just loves you to death. And best of luck in retirement. Enjoy, and maybe we'll hook up here down the road.
I appreciate the kind words, Sam. And again, it's been a great ride. But I'm ready to ride off into the sunset, and it's going to look different next year. There's no doubt about it. But hopefully we can maintain that success and keep things heading in the right direction.
I'm sure you will. There he goes, walking out to a little Jason Aldean. It is Coach Dennis Tucci. Coach, thank you so much. Have a great weekend and enjoy. There he goes. Dennis Tucci joining us here on the Sam Bourquin Show, AM1310 WDPN. All right, went a little bit over. I apologize for that. Not really. I was going to keep Coach on as long as he'd let me. We'll take a break. We got the news and weather coming up.
Here's the latest news on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 5:30. 42 days after a partial government shutdown began, the fight over funding for the Department of Homeland Security might finally be winding down. ABC's Jim Ryan says the Senate voted before dawn today.
On a voice vote, the Senate agreed to fund the Transportation Security Administration, but not ICE or Customs and Border Protection. Back in the Senate, the finger pointing continues. Senate Majority Leader John Thune.
It is now clear to everyone Democrats didn't actually want a solution.
Minority Leader Chuck Schumer.
This could have been accomplished weeks ago if Republicans hadn't stood in the way.
With Senate approval in hand, the House will now take up the measure to fund TSA and get airport security personnel paid again. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Sources tell ABC News that an American F-18 fighter jet narrowly avoided an Iranian missile while flying over southern Iran in recent days. U.S. Central Command said in a social media post Thursday that no U.S. fighter jet has been shot down by Iran. It comes as Operation Epic Fury nears its fifth week, with reports the Pentagon is considering sending an additional 10,000 ground troops to the Middle East. President Trump signaled he's in no rush to strike a deal, but extended the deadline for Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz by 10 days. If Iran doesn't comply, the president says he'll bomb their crucial power plants. The FBI now says a brother and sister have been charged in connection with an alleged explosive device found near the Visitor Center at MacDill Air Force Base in Florida last week. Officials say it was planted on March 10th, and soon afterward, a 911 call was made about a bomb on the base, but it wasn't found until almost a week later. The suspects, Alan Zhang and Anne-Marie Zhang, allegedly fled to China after the bomb was planted, but Anne-Marie Zhang then returned to the United States and was arrested. Investigators are also taking a look at a video sent to the Tampa Bay Times shortly after the bomb was left at the base. ABC News Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas.
The person who sent that video in silhouette claimed that this was about anger concerning U.S. policies in Iran, the assault in Iran, and also concern about U.S. deportation policy. We do not know if this video is definitely authentic and tied to the events.
The House Ethics Committee has found Democratic Congresswoman Sheila Trefilis McCormick of Florida committed numerous violations of House rules and ethics standards. It's a ruling that could add weight to Republicans' push to expel her from Congress. The panel says it will recommend a punishment in the coming weeks. The allegations center around the Congresswoman's receipt of millions of dollars from her family's healthcare business after Florida made an overpayment of roughly $5 million in disaster relief funds. She has denied wrongdoing. It's 38 degrees on Alliance at 5:32. This is WDPN News. I'm Jeff Mears.
Here's Mark Johnson's forecast on AM 1310 WDPN.
We should see abundant amounts of sunshine through your Friday afternoon. Not going to warm you up much. Our high today only in the middle 40s. Overnight, a partly cloudy sky on the way. Look for a low near 25 degrees. From the 3 News Weather Center, I'm Mark Johnson.
1310 WDPN. Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show. I want to thank Coach Dennis Tucci for hanging out with us today, talking about his career, looking forward to retirement, some great stories with Coach. If you missed that interview, shame, shame, shame. But you'll have an opportunity a little bit after the show's over tonight. It will be up in podcast. You can listen to the whole thing in its entirety. That'll be on all of our social media platforms tonight, WDPN Facebook page, Q92 Sports Facebook. It'll be on our YouTube channel, our YouTube page. It'll be on X. Check it out. That'll be up tonight after the show. All right. Let me go back and let's redo the story on Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods was involved in an accident a little bit after 2 o'clock today, a rollover accident. He was arrested by Martin County Sheriff's Office after the crash. He is charged with a DUI, property damage, and refused to submit to a lawful test. It was not alcohol related, however, but he was arrested and charged with driving under the influence. I'm sure more and more details will come out here. I'll tell you what, Rainsburg, while I am talking with you, I'm going to send you a little
audio
clip. I'm just going to put Tiger on it so you can, you know what it is.
It's okay. I don't have any new emails right now.
Okay, so I'm just sending that over to you now, and this is going to be courtesy of BNO News on X at BNO News, breaking news and developing stories for the U.S. and around the world. So we'll be that'll be a little bit from the sheriff's department down there.
Got it.
And we'll pick that up here in a second as soon as you're able to fire. Just give me the thumbs up and we'll go with it. So let's pick this up. This is from the sheriff's department today, down in Jupiter, Florida, talking about the crash and Tiger Woods being charged with DUI after a crash today, a little bit after 2 o'clock.
Driving that Land Rover, was able to crawl out the passenger door of the car and was identified to be Mr. Tiger Woods. Our DUI investigators came to the scene here, and Mr. Woods did exemplify signs of impairment. They did several tests on him. Of course, he did explain the injuries and the surgeries that he had. We did take that into account, but they did do some in-depth roadside tests. And when it was determined, he was placed under arrest and taken to the Martin County Jail. At the Martin County Jail, and even on scene, we really weren't suspicious of alcohol being involved in this case, and that proved to be true at the jail. So Mr. Woods did a breathalyzer test, blew 000s, but when it came time for us to ask for a urinalysis test, he refused, and so he's been charged with DUI, with property damage, and refusal to submit to a lawful test. In the crash, no one was injured. Mr. Woods did not seem to be injured at all, and the other gentlemen were not injured, but this happened a few hours ago, so I've given you the information that I have right here, right now.
All right, that's from the Sheriff's Department down in Jupiter, Florida, on the crash involving Tiger Woods a little bit after 2 o'clock today, Eastern Daylight Time. I'm sure more will be coming out as the minutes and the hours go by. You almost have to believe that this has to do with, I don't want to assume here, but I mean, I think common sense would tell us that probably pills, painkillers, something may be involved here. If it was not alcohol, he has gone through so many surgeries, so much rehab. I mean, I wonder if he wakes up a day in his life and he's not wincing in pain. I'm not absolving him for that. I'm just telling you that if the alcohol was not involved, would say it would be a fair assumption that he was, taking some stuff.
Yeah, somebody
to alleviate the pain or what have you. Now, does that absolve him from getting into a crash? Absolutely not. Does it absolve him from driving the way that he was? Absolutely not. Refusing to give a urine test? Absolutely not. But I'm just going off of what we know, and that if he was not nothing to do with alcohol, then I would think that would be a strong possibility.
Yeah, I would definitely put somebody in that category at high risk for developing a habit.
Yeah, according to Golf Digest on X, Tiger blew a .000 on the breathalyzer test, but he refused the urine test, and then he was charged with the DUI. Now, according to the sheriff's office, he showed signs of taking medications. Okay, that is courtesy of Golf Digest on X. So that's the latest there. I wonder. Where do you go from now? Look, weren't we just talking about Tiger the other day on the show about the virtual golfing, the tour that goes on down in Jupiter, Florida?
Yeah,
he was talking about to some of the members of the media. They were saying, "Hey, you look like you're starting to feel a little bit better. Are you feeling good? Do you think you're going to play at the Masters?" And he said he was going to be there. Didn't know if he was going to play or not, but he was going to be there. And you kind of thought, okay, well, maybe he's going to try to give it a shot. Maybe he's going to try to give it a try. And then a couple of days later, this happens. So the timeline, kind of crazy, but that's kind of how things played out there. Again, .000 with the breathalyzer, but he did. He refused to do a urine test, and that's when they took him into custody and they arrested him for DUI. I guess there was quite a bit of property damage. I'm sure the car damaged as well. But
yeah, I think I saw a picture of it.
According to a source, the Martin, Florida sheriff says he showed signs of impairment and, of course, denied the urine analysis test for drugs. So who knows? Again, there's going to be a lot of information coming out here, and the more that comes out before we leave you at 6 o'clock, we will be sure to pass that along to you. But man, you feel bad for him. I mean, look, Tiger's been through a lot. Some of it, yes, he brought upon himself. Absolutely, he did. He went through the terrible thing with his ex-wife, Ellen Nordgren, with other behavior, I'll just call it, that was going on, during the marriage, what have you. Then he had that horrific accident. He almost didn't make it through. He's had a gazillion surgeries, fusions, spinal, neck, leg, knee, you name it, trying to fight through it, battle through it. And he just has not been able to get back to where he was. And at this point, he's never going to get back to where he was. He's not 28 years old anymore, okay? He's not at Stanford anymore. He's on that side of the golfing circle, so to speak. And there's just, you have to put so much into a golf swing. And Tiger had such a violent golf swing. Like, you watched him golf. You watched him tee it up. You watched him rip that club through the I mean, it was violent. That takes a toll on your body. The torque, the pressure, the speed. The body wasn't made to twist yourself around like that. At the miles per hour that happens. And doing it constantly. Tiger Woods hit thousands of golf balls a day, 7 days a week for how many years? That's why he was so good. Your body can't take that. And then, you get hurt. You get injuries. You have accidents. You get more injuries. You have more surgeries. And then you try to fight through it. You go back out on the range. All right. I just got my spine fused back together. Let's go. Okay, well, I had a couple discs taken care of. Let's go. Let's hit the weight room. Let's run. Let's walk. Let's swing. Let's putt. Let's chip. It's hard. It's hard to do. It's hard for the best of the best. And Tiger was the best of the best. And then things just kind of got away from him. Things went downhill. They went sideways. He had problems. Everybody got problems. He had some problems. And I think probably a mixture of all that. You put all those things in a bowl, and you mix it up a little bit, and you shake it up a little bit, and this is what comes out. And, just a couple of days ago, we're thinking, hey, maybe Tiger's going to play at he's going to be in Augusta. Rainsburg, honest to God, I was already making plans.
I could hear it in your voice.
Telling you, I was going to send you the theme music from Augusta National. We were going to run some Masters promos. We're going to play some of the great calls for Tiger Woods when he would play the Masters and the U.S. Open and all the other majors. I seriously doubt he'll even be at Augusta now.
Hall of Fame City thinks that the charges will be dropped. Those cops are just looking for a look at me moment. We'll see.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah.
Look, the fact that he didn't blow anything on the breathalyzer, he was .000, but they said that he seemed impaired, quite impaired, and he didn't give a urine test. Okay, so yeah, there's something going on there. Now, do I know what he put in his body? No. Can I take a gander? Maybe. I don't want to do that. I wouldn't want anybody to do that about me or anybody that I was friends with. So I'll leave that speculation alone. We'll wait for the facts to come out, and they will at some point. But, boy, if you had any aspirations of Tiger playing at Augusta, I think you forget about that now. He was going to go there. He was going to go to the Champions Dinner. He was going to take part in all the stuff, and he thought he said he wanted to at least do that if he wasn't going to play. But I don't think you see Tiger Woods now at the Masters in any way, shape, or form. Now we just wait for more information to come out and see what happens. But how quickly things change in 48 hours. We're hoping maybe he was going to lace him up and give it one more shot. And now we're talking about him being arrested and taken into custody for DUI and property damage. That's how quick it comes. That's how quickly the game changes. And there's nothing you can do about it. 5:49 is our time. We're going to step out. We'll take a break here on the show. 1310 WDPN. We are streaming live and audio and video all across our social media platforms today. Want to get in? Want to have a little discussion? 330-821-1310. You can drop your comments on the Q92 Radio YouTube channel in the chat. We'll revisit that when we get back. We'll get you ready for the March Madness tonight. 4 more games. Cavs are going to play the Heat tonight. The Guardians are in action tonight. There is so much going on this weekend. We also got the fill-in-the-blank Friday question. We'll get back into that as well as we roll on through the home stretch here on a Friday. On the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN.
AWP Safety, North America's leading traffic safety company, wishes the best of luck to Stark County student athletes this fall, and they need you. Join AWP as a protector for steady work and an important job keeping people safe. They offer paid training, certification, referral bonuses, and advancement opportunities. To apply, visit jobs.awpsafety.com. That's jobs.awpsafety.com.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-498-2098 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-498-2098 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-498-2098 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
This place has a pulse. You hear it in the canopy, feel it in the ground. Life, fully illuminated, engulfs you. From the birds singing in the treetops above to the tiniest insects in the soil below, you take a deep, cleansing breath, filling your lungs with the essence of the forest. Now, imagine it's all gone. Healthy, life-giving forests reduced to nothing. No singing birds, no lush canopy, and water and food in short supply around the world. Time is running out to protect our forests, and without our love, they can and will disappear. It's our choice. Love it or lose it. Help protect our forests. Visit World Wildlife Fund at wwf.org/love.
Here. 1310 WDPN. Welcome back to the show. We got about 7 minutes left together. Don't forget, we'll be back here next week, Monday through Friday, 3 until 6 on AM 1310 WDPN. Then I'm going to take a little break. We're going to take a little vacation the following week, so we won't be here, but we'll be back the following.
Well, you won't be here.
I will not be here, but your life will be much easier.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm
like
not
you
complaining
probably
at all.
won't want me to come back.
Nah, no, it's fine. I'm going to be it's only going to take a day for me to be incredibly bored here. By Tuesday, I'm going to be like, oh, God. I'm going to run out of stuff to do on Monday.
Well, look at it this way. You won't have to check your emails from me for 7 days. There won't be anything coming your way.
Oh, you think I check my email that frequently?
Well, I don't know. I know you don't check your phone that frequently. Now your email, that could be a different thing.
Well, I mean, it's not me being rude. When you send me the best bet, I just, you're sending me, should I reply to that and let you know I got it? Because am I being rude? I didn't realize.
Oh, I always laugh when Rainsburg will come back into my little cubby hole and say, hey, I go, I sent it to you already. Oh, I didn't check my phone. There it is. Okay. I always get a kick out of that.
Yeah, I'm not.
But yeah, I won't be sending you anything for a week.
You know what? You know what, Sam? I am happily not glued to my phone, unlike the rest of the country. How's that? How's that shake you?
Oh man. So yeah, we'll be here every day next week, and then I will be out the following week, and then I'll be back. Let's see, Easter's the 5th, and I'll be gone the 6th through the 13th. Then we'll be back on the other side there, and then we will roll into I think the end of May, and then I'm going to take another week off there, and then a little bit of time in August. Gotta squeeze it all in here before what starts again coming up here in the middle of August. Phone lines are open. That's high school football, by the way. 330-821-1310 is our telephone number. 330-821-1310.
We gotta start figuring out what we're gonna do for our 1 year anniversary show.
I know that's
like running
April
out of
the
time.
29th, April the 28th,
28th
27th.
to 29th. So we're pretty much exactly a month away.
We got to figure out a little, I I don't know. Yeah, a little 1 year anniversary thing. Should we maybe leave that up to the listeners? Should we come up, throw some stuff out there? What do you think we should do?
We could do a little bit of both. We'll let people throw in some ideas. Then, we'll take anything that's not too ridiculous.
How about this? And if I'm nuts or it ain't going to happen, let me know. What do you think? Of course, it would depend on the weather.
Of course.
But what do you think about April 28th or 29th? We do the show out in the parking lot. Or maybe in the grassy area if the weather's a lot better. We could set up a little tent. Maybe we could serve some hot dogs and some pop and water. Maybe give some prizes away. Take some photos with people. What do you think? Would that be fun? Or
I think we need to. If we're going to do that, we should probably get pretty proactive about that pretty quickly.
Like tomorrow?
Yeah, you should probably start talking to people about that. Like a week and a half, 2 weeks, maybe a month ago.
Oh well, gee whiz.
Because
that would give us a month to get ready.
I'm pretty sure that we could go out in the parking lot and run the show. But you're talking about tents and prizes and hot dogs.
Yeah, well, we got tents here, right?
Yeah.
So we put that up. We'll put the equipment out there. It wouldn't be anything. It wouldn't be anything different than me doing it from a football stadium or a gym.
No,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's the easy part. We'll have to hire Jake and have him bring his inflatables.
I'll give Jake some. I don't know if I give him money, but I can, give him something. Get him couple of maybe a gift card or something. I'll go take care of it. So we could put up some inflatables. We could have. What would be cool is if we had. Mirrors out there cooking hot dogs.
Yeah.
That would be Keller. He could come over here. He could bring his smoker. Yeah.
No,
see, I'm going to turn this into an absolute circus.
That's going to be awesome.
Already.
If we get Keller out here with his smoker, he'll never leave. He'll be out there all night. It's almost perfect, guys.
I like it. We're going to go big. Because you don't know if the year 2 will be around or not. So we're going to go big for a 1 year anniversary. So, but we are definitely going to do something. I promise you all, we're going to do something, and I would love to involve you all out there, the listeners, the people that check us out on the social medias and stuff. I think that would be kind of cool.
You'd think it's it's going to be like late April, so there's no way it'll snow. But if it'll snow in April if we're planning to do an outdoorsy thing, it will.
Right? Maybe we'll get one of those freak 4 or 5 day runs where it's like 78. You know what I mean?
Or it'll be 120, and all the equipment will be melting outside.
Yeah, well, there's that too. We'll figure something out. We will.
All we know is that whatever we figure out, we'll get ruined by the weather.
Right? Well,
we can know that for sure.
This is what we were going to do, but we couldn't do it. But we're working on it. I promise you, we will do something because I think that's kind of fun. That's kind of worth celebrating. All right. Anything that I did not tell anybody on? Mount Union doubleheader tomorrow against Otterbein has been postponed at Rayfield Rogers Field at Mount Union. We're going to do the doubleheader Sunday beginning at 1 p.m. So I just wanted to let everybody know there. No Mount Union baseball tomorrow. It will be Sunday at 1 over at Rayfield Rogers Field. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be fun. Happy birthday, Randall Cunningham, today. Former Philadelphia Eagle great. He put another candle on the cake. College hoops tonight. We got the guards tonight. We got the Cavs in the Heat. Sheesh. We got all kind of stuff going on tonight. Enjoy, and everybody have a great weekend too. Thanks to Rainsburg. Great job as always. Thanks to all of you for calling in and emailing and texting and commenting today. Thanks to our special guest today, Dennis Tucci, coach of the Malvern Hornets, until he's officially not. Thanks, Coach, for coming on today. And thanks to everybody else for being a part of the big show today and taking us through this fill-in-the-blank Friday. Up until Monday at 3, don't forget, go Cavs, go Bucks, go Browns, go Guards. Have a great night, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday.